Hey guys, this is Anime here, and today we are going to be doing the opening part to What If Goku Became a Demon. Please like the video if you haven't already and subscribe. It's totally free and you can unsubscribe whenever you want. There's nothing much else I'd like to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Slick talker since a jet. Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag. Disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
In this What If, we're going to go through quite a unique concept. I just got this idea out of nowhere and I thought that I'd see how it plays out in a What If. This story begins with Goku in the fight against Vegeta. What changes here is that nobody comes up with the idea of removing Vegeta's tail. This then means that the Earthlings are left without many options. Vegeta goes straight for the ape Gohan and battles with him with fury. Gohan is nowhere near as strong as him and leaves him in such a bad state that he can barely get up. Goku is barely able to stand and soon sees Krillin as the only one left. He shouts at Vegeta, holding a destructo disc in his hand. He roars and uses both hands for an overhead throw, hurling it straight at Vegeta. However, he leaps away from it so that it rushes past him, only cutting a few hairs off. This leaves him to charge forward, and after this happens, Krillin looks back to Goku. Defeat him, for us, Krillin calls out. He sees that there isn't much time left for him, but Goku uses Kaioken times 3, grabs him and speeds away at the very last second so that he isn't killed. He descends past several tall rocks and slams into the ground. With so many rocks in the way as well, he has saved Krillin from the attack that was to come his way. As soon as he lands, he ends up coughing out blood and is shaking from the stress on his body. He's broken it down completely. Don't overdo yourself, Goku, Krillin calls out, but Goku is in too much pain to even react. Kakarot, a low voice calls out to him from behind. If you want to kill me, just do it now, Vegeta. Leave everyone else out of it, let them live, he roars, with more blood dripping from his mouth as he shouts. Kakarot, I am not Vegeta, look up, the voice says, now coming from ahead of him. Ahead of him is a Saiyan with red and black gi and somewhat long hair. He has pale, clear skin and almost a godlike appearance. However, there's a slight darkness around his eyes and that's pretty much it. I can save your friends, I can save everyone. If you don't listen to me, everyone dies, he calls out. As Goku looks to his side, Krillin is frozen. Turning around, he coughs out and grunts with pain, but as he comes back to his senses, he can see that Vegeta has stopped too. What is this? I can give you the power to stop them, the man claims, as his eyes flash red as he does so. Fine, give me this power, anything so that I can win, Goku calls out. His son is already gone and Krillin could die at any second. He needs to get rid of Vegeta before this gets even worse for everyone else on the planet. This means that when I give you your power, your soul is mine. You shall follow my every command, he comments. Now this makes Goku a little reluctant. Just who is this guy that has appeared out of nowhere asking for him to follow his every command? I mean, he does look like a Saiyan and that makes him a little cautious, but then again, he doesn't act like the Saiyans he has seen before. He seems a lot calmer, more sophisticated, like he knows what he wants and he doesn't seem all that outlandish. It takes about 30 seconds before Goku realizes that there really isn't an option for him. He has to do this and he must do this now. Alright then, just do it, give me the power I need, Goku shouts. The man's eyes glow a bright red and Goku doesn't know this, but his glow red as well. In this same moment, the man fades into nothing and Goku stands up with not even a little bit of pain. What is this? He was expecting his body to be hurt at least a little bit. What surrounds him now is a dark black and red aura. His body is now steaming as well as his wounds are being healed from out of nowhere. Goku, your eyes, Krillin says, seeing his eyes glowing a scarlet red. However, Goku isn't bothered. His Zenkai has lifted his power level up to 20,000, but Goku's mind is still in turmoil after seeing his son die in front of him. He loses control and roars to the sky. Letting out all his power, his hair lifts and turns to the pristine golden colour of Super Saiyan. This is true power. This lifts his power level up to 1 million. However, his aura doesn't follow this same hue. His aura is a scarlet red with black pieces of ki also flowing in this aura. He fires up, leaving a dark red trail of energy behind him and he goes right in to hit Vegeta right on his large snout. This lifts him off his feet and Goku doesn't stop there. He lets out his rage in a flurry of quick but powerful punches and kicks to really destroy the prince. With such a small nimble frame, it makes it that much harder for Vegeta to throw anything back in return. Now this was exactly what he was hoping for. Goku isn't fighting like he usually is either. He's fighting in this menacing, brutal way where he wants to just inflict as much pain and damage onto Vegeta as possible. Vegeta can do nothing and is soon covered in streams of his own blood. Goku is left floating above him with a menacing appearance. He blocks out the sun from view and looks just like a silhouette of sorts. Vegeta coughs out even more blood as he's in this form, and Goku has had enough. Lifting both hands, he begins shooting down several red ki blasts that are small in size but possess insane destructive capability. They smash into the ground and hit Vegeta in various places, detonating on impact. The force behind each explosion not only shreds through his flesh but keeps him on the ground so he can do nothing at all to resist. After the massive wave of blasts, a large crater is left along with Vegeta's apish bloodied corpse. Goku floats over him and somehow doesn't feel that same guilt that he did before. It's still there, but it feels more like he did the right thing. I mean, he did. He even starts to look down on himself for wanting to keep him alive just for his selfish desires of wanting to fight strong foes. That's evil, not this. He had to do this to save everyone around him. However, his son is now dead and it's his fault that he is. What he knows is that he has to get his son and friends back somehow. He can't just let them stay dead like this. Powering down, he rushes over to Krillin to take him in for some healing with Bulma. Luckily, he's far from death, but he is more injured than he was in canon. I mean, he had taken a few hits before Goku's power-up that did deal some serious damage. During this time, he thinks of the idea of Namek and how they can head over there to see if they have Dragon Balls as well. Goku thinks that this is a great idea, but they'll have to wait for Krillin to be healed before they go. As Goku is stood over him, he feels great sadness to see Krillin in such a state. Krillin can see the pain in his eyes and tries to get rid of it for him. Don't worry Goku, this isn't your fault. You're the reason I can even be in this hospital bed and that I'm not in a coffin right now, Krillin insists. As Goku sees this, he looks to reply but then sees him stop out of nowhere. Looking up, he can see that same Saiyan is back again. Heal him so you can go to Namek and heal your friends, the Saiyan says, throwing this black-red ball of energy toward him. Goku catches it, but it doesn't stop in his palm. Instead, it continues to float above his hand. Looking down to it, it just makes him wonder, who even is this guy? He's never even heard of anyone that can give power out like this, so who is he? Rushing forward, he goes in to try and punch the guy, but his fist just phases right through his whole body. I'm a projection in your consciousness, Goku. I'm making your brain think that you're seeing a physical person standing here, but you're not, he explains. Oh, that's weird, but what are you? Why are you doing this? Goku asks. Well, the answer to your first question I can't give to you just like that. To be honest, time will soon give you the answer. Goku isn't very good with words in these vague responses, so he isn't very sure of what he means here. However, he then gives him the answer to his second. As I will help you, Goku, you will help me, he states, with a colder voice than how he talked previously. How am I going to help you? I can't hurt anyone, Goku says, looking down with his fist clenched. However, he knows the terms. This guy is probably way stronger than him, and he bound himself into a contract with the man. He has to do his bidding, but he does seem like a nice person anyway. For now, there's nothing you need to do. However, don't think you don't hurt anyone. You just killed Vegeta, but it's for the greater good. Harm can be taken for the greater good. The man furthers, making Goku's eyes drop down. He doesn't want to accept it, but it's true. Just heal your friend. I'll be back again to help when I see that I'm needed, the man calls out, before vanishing into nothing. Goku looks down and sees a glowing red energy swirl around his hand. As it falls onto Krillin's body, his wounds vanish and he is healed. Standing up in his bed, he looks forward with his sudden sense of strength. Just like Goku, he powers up and tenses his muscles to break straight out of his confining bandages. Whoa, what did you do to me, Goku? I feel like I can go right now, he calls out, with a smile on his face. Goku is happy to hear this and they're well on their way to Namek shortly after. During their time training, Goku and Krillin focus on mental training, just anything to get stronger. One session happens and as Goku closes his eyes, he looks upon a beautiful red-brown planet that he sees through one of the windows of the ship. As he goes through a meditation session fighting mock battles in his mind, he opens his eyes back up to see that same planet there. Time has stopped. What's going on here, he asks, only to turn to see the same man that he saw before the journey. I can stop time so that you can focus on some extra training during that time. Thank me later, the man says, before vanishing. Goku had questions to ask, but since he's gone, it seems like he's just fully gone. The man seems to have his own will, only answering questions as he wants to. They arrive on the planet and then some of the Frieza soldiers rush forward toward their ship to interrogate them. Upon sensing their measly power levels, they can see that they are all unimpressive when it comes to battle power. This gives them an aggressive demeanor and makes them attack when they don't need to. Being used as foot soldiers, subordinate soldiers of the Frieza force, any chance to boost their low self-esteem will be taken and capitalized on. One of the soldiers rushes straight to Krillin, who breaks his armor and knocks him out with a single punch. Another launches an energy wave at them, but Goku just uses a wave of wind and ki to launch the blast upwards and away from them. Finally, he launches a blast of his own that catches the two remaining fighters and sends them flying off into the waters. It creates a massive splash that hits the adjacent islands, but because the blast fires off away from them, they're saved from the tsunami like waves they can see. This blast leaves nothing left of those fighters, and Krillin gives a quick glance up to Goku. He's never seen him act with this sort of brutality. Well, he has, but only against Vegeta. It seems like that fight changed him in a way. I was holding back and now my son is dead. It won't happen anymore, Goku says to himself. Good, Goku. Save your family. Save everyone. That's what you're here for, the unknown Saiyan says from behind him as he looks ahead. The duo then begin their searches and stumble upon the village where Dodoria, Zarbon and Frieza are located. Dodoria is attacking a young kid and Goku can't stand to see it. Unlike before, his emotions aren't as controlled. He can feel his mind going haywire. He puts himself in the position of that adult Namekian who he assumes to be the kid's father. He can see him crying from a distance as he can't do anything to help. This brings him back to the terrible moment when he saw Gohan get killed, while he was being held down by Vegeta and couldn't do a thing. Goku's eyes flash a scarlet red from all these emotions flaring up, and soon enough he can't take it anymore. Standing up, he zooms down there and kicks Dodoria in his chest, launching him into a building. He doesn't stop there though, extending his hand to blast him right in his chest as well. This hit does not particularly hurt Dodoria, it just caught him off guard. Goku's power level is still at 20,000 here, so Dodoria has the advantage. Pushing right off this wall, he slugs forward his right fist and socks Goku right in his face. This knocks him down, then he kicks at his fallen head to knock him further back. Dodoria makes his fighting stance and awaits his next advance. If he tries to attack him again, he'll be sure to really clobber him. As Goku takes that hit, it only makes him angrier and he rushes right back in there. As he tries to go for a lower hit aimed at his stomach, Dodoria throws his fist to the side at full force. This throws the Saiyan totally off course and leaves an open chance for Dodoria to throw down a punch to his jaw. It lands cleanly and leaves Goku on his knees. It really shakes him up and makes the world spin for a second or two, even though he's totally still. However, he jumps back and away to land about 10 meters from Dodoria. In this moment, he cracks his knuckles and prepares for the fight. Come on then, whoever you are, show me what you've got, Dodoria beckons him in, signaling for him to advance. He's feeling exhilarated from this fight, mainly because he's winning. However, this taunt he will soon regret. Goku smiles upon seeing this. As he sees Dodoria's face, all he sees is evil, scorn. Why would he leave someone like this alive? He powers up into Kaioken with his eyes turning the same red colour from before. Krillin had seen Kaioken before and it didn't turn his eyes red. What is up with his eyes turning red all of a sudden? Goku bursts ahead with a new power level of 40,000 and wipes Dodoria's smile clean off. He smashes his elbow into his face and breaks his skull. Not only that, but he throws down several ape-like strikes with his body weight to add to their damage. This leaves Dodoria in a bad way, and after a final strike he passes. Goku lifts up with the blood of Dodoria all over his frame. For some reason though, he doesn't seem that bothered. It's all for the right thing, for justice. He then looks to his next hunting targets, Zarbon and Frieza. Evil for him to slay. Zarbon looks almost frightened, not just from this man's clear power, but from the brutality with which he employed to kill Dodoria. The man steps back with cowardice, but can feel Frieza's glare burning into the back of his head. He has to act. He has no other choice. Flying forward, making his cape flow in the wind, he goes in to attack Goku, who just steps to the side. Kaioken times 3, Goku calls out, imbuing his body with even more vigor and strength. His power lifts up to 60,000 and he shouts vehemently as he shoots a ki blast into Zarbon's stomach. Now this leaves him in a terrible state. Zarbon coughs out blood with parts of his guts now visible. Krillin even has to look away from all this, but Frieza can't help but smile. Savage recognizes Savage. This guy is vicious. Goku throws down a precise and quick punch to Zarbon's head that not only knocks him out but kills him. Looking at his corpse, he is only filled with anger. He's caused these people death, but he just wonders about the other countless lives that these devils have taken. Why should he let them live and possibly let them cause that same damage and suffering in the future? He feels overwhelmed with anger and bursts up to his feet. His signature scarlet red eyes glare at Frieza, but they switch to a cooler, darker purple followed by a sky blue. Roaring at the top of his lungs, his muscles start to buff up and his aura remains the usual red colour, although it becomes a little brighter and a paler red. His eyes switch back to red as he enters Super Saiyan, before flying straight toward Frieza. "You're dead, Frieza," Goku shouts, before he begins roaring in his advance. He wants to see the complete end of this man and he'll see to it. Aiming for Frieza, the Emperor is quick with his thoughts and lifts up his pod that he uses to fly in. Goku's knuckles hit the Emperor's pod, crushing it in one fell swoop. This leaves him to then look to Frieza himself, and he manages to grab him before he can escape. He then hurls him to the ground before swinging down his arms for a strike. Just as he is inches from hitting the man, he zooms away in the nick of time before hitting Goku with a series of precise death beams. They pierce through many areas of his torso and he then flies off just before he can get defeated. He doesn't feel like transforming now, but one thing is clear, the Ginyu Force won't do anything to that Saiyan. As he flies back, only one phrase continues to get replayed in his mind. Legendary Super Saiyan, Legendary Super Saiyan. If it's not him, who is it? He had enough power to kill him in that moment if he didn't transform. His hair went a bright golden just like the legend states. Those red eyes, those scarlet red eyes. Frieza bites his lip with anger before swearing to destroy that Saiyan. I'll prove to you just how superior I am. This isn't the last of me, Frieza says upon flying off. Goku coughs out blood and falls to a knee, reverting to his base form. He clutches on the sharp pain sources on his torso before pulling away his hands to see the alarming amounts of blood sprayed all over them. As he looks for a short while, he starts to get dizzy and then collapses, left to see his vision slowly fade. Krillin has the mind to go and help, but is too overwhelmed by the bloodied corpses strewn across the battlefield. Blood and guts everywhere. Goku brutally killed those two people right in front of him and didn't even seem to care about it. This isn't the Goku that he knew. However, there was no time and he'd have to help him now before he'd pass. Rushing over, he could then see steam emitting off him along with these airy trails of red energy. As he rushes in to try and see what's going on, he can see Goku healing. He can see the wound sealing up, and after a few seconds or so, Goku springs right back up as if nothing even happened. His face looks devoid of emotion for a moment, but his anger soon appears on his face. He raises back up to his feet and just looks at everyone around him. I still couldn't save everyone, Goku says, clenching his fists. Why do we have to live amongst this evil that causes all this pain and death? Frieza rushes right back over to his ship just to think things through really. He's always done this to let someone else deal with his situations himself, but this time he knows that won't be the case. He's always just sent off the Ginyu Force, sent off Zarbon and Dodoria, but he's facing a threat that now far outclasses those warriors. He'll have to pick his own battle today. Frieza can't help but clench his fist as he thinks about the image of the Saiyan, that Super Saiyan, his bright majestic golden aura swaying around him. He then curses himself for letting those Saiyans survive. He thought that by destroying planet Vegeta he'd destroyed that legend and the possibility of it being true. Out of all of the people to escape that day, it had to be him that ended up being the Super Saiyan. No wonder he hadn't heard news of Raditz, Nappa or Vegeta as they went to Earth. He had obviously killed them. The very thought of this just angered him. Goku rushes straight back to their base with the Dragon Balls that he has acquired and decides to try and venture out for more of them. Stay here and protect Bulma, Goku says as he begins to walk off. Wait, Krillin says, before you can leave. There's an awkward silence between them and Goku even looks slightly irritated that he's been held up like this. His right eye even twitches upon seeing this happen. Goku, did something happen back when we fought Vegeta? Krillin asks. What? Goku asks, perplexed by the question. He wasn't expecting to hear something like this right now, but to be honest, he started to understand its origins with greater thought. You've been acting a little different lately, Krillin says. Nope, it's just regular old me. I think it's a Saiyan power. I'm not too sure. It makes my hair feel weird and gives me that golden aura. It makes me a little bit more riled up, but it makes me way more powerful. It's the only reason I managed to scare off Frieza back there, Goku says. Don't worry, nothing has changed about me, Krillin. Nothing at all, Goku says, before blasting off. He hides the true origin of his powers, unsure of how his friend would react. In this flight, he starts to think about the fact that he really has changed. Things aren't the same. He wouldn't have been as willing to slaughter those people in cold blood like he had just done. No, that was weakness. He had to get rid of evil, and he'd have to meet fire with fire. Letting evil survive would keep that darkness in the world. He'd have to be there to slaughter them so that such darkness could be properly removed. He won't stand for it any longer. He arrives at an area with the Dragon Balls, Guru's place. He arrives here in a very short moment and then enters the place to try and get what he needs from them. Could I please have your Dragon Ball? There is someone on this planet that is causing destruction everywhere. I promise that I'll deal with him to save you all, but I want the Dragon Ball to save those that his army had killed on my own home planet. Nail finds his story plausible. He has been sensing his ki across the planet helping people. However, Nail and Guru can both sense something within him, something else. They can't place a finger on it, but it feels like this pure burning darkness, like a hellfire strung with evil and demonic energy. This puts them off slightly, but they'd much rather trust him over the demon that is Frieza. They know that nothing good will come of them giving him the Dragon Ball. They pass him the Dragon Ball, but Guru doesn't gift him with his potential unlocking powers. From the ki that he can sense from him, he can also tell that he is very strong to begin with. He isn't totally trusting of him, and chances are he'll do well without his help anyway. Goku flies straight back to his base with Krillin before setting off to complete the big job, to defeat Frieza. He arrives in front of his ship and can see Frieza just sitting in his pod drinking wine. It's clear that he's been thinking things through, but he finishes what is left before throwing the glass away. It shatters and he stands up before flying straight through the glass and shattering it. This showing of power is nothing to Goku. His face remains totally still and he waits for him to descend. Goku is your name, right? I thought a saying that looked an awful lot like you a lot. I don't care, Goku bluntly states, cutting him off. You're evil and I have to get rid of you, to save everyone on this planet, he shouts, getting angry as he just thinks about the atrocities that this man must have committed. If it's a fight you want, then so be it, Frieza says, before wiggling his fingers. Let me tell you that this form is merely a shield used to hide my true power. I have to create forms to suppress my power so that I can actually control myself. You will be the first person other than my father to look upon this form, Frieza comments, entering a battle-ready position. He transforms and enters his mighty muscular second form. Goku still looks unbothered and makes his own stance. The battle is on. Frieza rushes forward with his knee at first, and Goku is taken aback by his great speed. The tough knee bone crashes into his nose, shooting his head back powerfully. Goku manages to control this throwing of his body with a simple backflip. However, he gets hit with a wave of subsequent strikes that he really struggles to contain and control. Goku was just flustered by his power though. Upon staying back for a good few seconds, he ups the ante and begins using Kaioken ×5. Now with a 100,000 power level, he rushes back in only to receive a hand straight to the side of his neck that nearly knocks him out. To be totally honest, the strike nearly kills him. He is sent completely off balance and the world starts swaying around him. Things really aren't looking good. As Frieza rushes in, he has his head down and he's in a full throttle sprint. He knows that he can't be holding back any longer. Releasing all of his power, he enters his Super Saiyan form and shoots off straight back toward his adversary. Kicking Frieza himself, the man does get hurt from it, but he takes this initial strike surprisingly well. It forces him a step back or so, but beyond that it doesn't do much at all. Frieza fires back toward the Saiyan and the two warriors wildly clash with each other. They begin pushing at each other as hard as they can and it seems like the fight is a total stalemate. However, Frieza is the much physically larger fighter, so in terms of raw pushing strength like this, he can gain the slight advantage. Headbutting Goku in his face, he knocks him back a decent amount before kicking straight into his abdomen. Both attacks land in a flush, powerful manner, but the Saiyan manages to block the subsequent attacks hitting him. I need more power, Goku exclaims, before punching Frieza straight in his gut. He can't tell if he's just saying this, but he said it in a way as if he was saying that to someone. It's definitely weird to Frieza, but he's in a battle, so doesn't really get much time to think over what he's just done. He fires forward yet again and attacks the Emperor, but this fight just ends up carrying on in quite the stale, slow manner. Nobody can get a clear win over the other, and Frieza is starting to get bored of using this form. He's tried his hardest to win and is annoyed that the Saiyan is putting up such a struggle even when he is in this second form of his. However, the tables are about to turn in his favour. Goku is now panting, exhausted from his grueling fight that led ultimately to nothing at all. He is covered in injuries and just isn't at his top strength. As he looks forward, he can see that Frieza has frozen in place. Looking to his left, he can see the Saiyan looking straight at Frieza. He has a smirk on his face, but as Goku turns to look at him, it swiftly fades. Look at this evil, use this power and get rid of him, the man says, before turning to specks of red light and vanishing. Goku sees steam emitting off his body and in the very next moment he can feel his power being returned to him. After this power boost, his power level is now at a whopping 100,000. Firing off toward Frieza, he takes him off guard, even with him in his third form now. He chips out a tooth with his fist alone, then chases after him in an energetic, powerful charge. Goku lets everything loose. With his sudden power boost, it's given him the motivation he needed to do what he believes is right and just, to kill Frieza. He throws a sequence of powerful mean punches to his face, throwing not just power but anger and hatred into each strike. Frieza can almost feel his stronger, bolder will overwhelming his own, and it really starts to concern him. Frieza shouts with anger and tries to hit him back with something, but is stopped right in place with a slow strike to his abdominal area. The strike does some very good damage and leaves him stunned for a second. He ends up coughing out blood, then Goku swivels around to smash his foot into his chest, launching him back. Frieza is left to tumble and roll on the floor as this happens. The pain he feels in his chest at this moment is immense. At the hands of a Saiyan, in his third form. He's nowhere near his final form, but the proportion of power that he's utilising should be able to deal with any Saiyan. As he looks up, he gains flashes of that one Saiyan who was weak but still stood up to face him. Many years later, it seems like the same thing is happening again. Yes, the same thing is happening again. Because he'll slaughter Goku just like how he killed his father, as if he's livestock. Cracks begin to appear over Frieza's body and he ascends into his final form. He elegantly lands back on his feet and the fear he felt vanishes. Goku looks upon him and fires straight back toward him. As he begins, he seems to still have the upper hand, but Frieza wishes to end things. There's no need to dilly-dally. He's had his fun with his lower states, if you can call it that, and wants to see the Saiyan 6 feet under. Lifting into flight, he gets surrounded by a powerful purple aura and stares him down with cold eyes. At 50% power already, his power level is at 60 million. The fight is easily his now. Goku can sense his power and feels quite scared. The pressure on him is unlike anything he's ever experienced. However, there's no other option for him now. Now that he thinks of it, he has that man on his side. Surely he'll just get more power if he gets overpowered. Therefore, he fearlessly rushes in. Leaping up, he throws a punch only for Frieza to slip out the way of it. Another comes his way, but that is also evaded as he just slips under with a slight flip. Dipping down, he shoots himself back up and sends his head straight into Goku's chest, breaking his ribcage in various places. Before he can get sent flying, he swivels around to grab him using his tail and then dives down at full throttle. This full speed explosive movement creates a shockwave around him, and the slam that Goku gets hit with almost kills him. As Frieza leaves him, it looks like he's dead. His mind has gone blank and his body isn't moving at all. There's a clear indent where Frieza hit him using his head and managed to break apart his ribcage. Frieza looks down and over his supposed corpse with triumph for a few good seconds, before he prepares to get the Dragon Balls he so preciously needs. Looking to the horizon, he can't wait to let some of his true power loose yet again. Goku soon sees a mind of blank. It's nothing. He can't feel, hear or touch anything. It's like his mind is in a totally different realm, surrounded by nothing but darkness. He can soon feel his mind returning to him though, and the man is stood beside him. Goku looks down at his body and he can see that he still has his injuries, but he feels better mentally. It's only the pain that remains. I can see that he's troubling you. The gap between you and him is quite strong. Even with your Zenkai, you might not be able to take him down. So give me the power to defeat him, Goku pleads, before coughing from the injuries he's received. That's unlike you, Kakarot. To plead for power that you haven't gained yourself, the man teases, making Goku think back to what he just said. That is so unlike him. Why was he pleading for power? Well, it's all he can do. Frieza is clearly way above his level. If he doesn't get something now, the whole planet is in trouble. Don't worry, I'm just joking with you. Well, power I can give you, but this won't be an unconditional gift. I shall give you the power that you want, but it may not be something that you originally intended, he states. What sort of power? Goku asks. Just wait and see, the man says, before vanishing. Goku can then feel his body steaming and his signature healing takes place yet again. Standing back up, he feels like a new man. His muscles feel vigorous and he's ready to use them. His power level has increased to about 2.5 million from this power up, and this will be enough to wrap things up. However, this isn't the power that the man was talking about. As he thinks back to Frieza, he can feel this intense anger brewing inside him. It starts getting more and more intense and he thinks of really destroying him. It's different to the anger that he felt before. Before it was to save everyone on this planet, and it still is. But it feels different now, a little more unfounded. His eyes flash red as he blasts away, chasing right after Frieza. As soon as he finds him once again, he can see him talking to those at Namekian village. Before rushing in, he can feel his body stop and he suddenly can't move it any longer. What's happening, he wonders, feeling his muscles tense up. He can control his mind. He knows that and his face, but his body below that is just frozen up out of nowhere. Let him do what he needs to do, the Saiyan says from beside him with almost a smile on his face. What? I can't let innocent people die. I hope this isn't what you meant by what I have to do for you. The man almost chuckles upon seeing this new temper of his. However, he starts to have this almost crazed, happy look as he sees the brutality occurring beneath him. Goku feels terrified by this demonic look. Who did he sign his soul away to? You won't win if you stop him now, the man claims. I won't win, Goku asks, with confusion. He feels on top of the world right now. After receiving that much strength from this man, he's sure that what he has now with just his power level and Super Saiyan will be sufficient. It's just how things will play out. I'm trying to help you with saving the most people here. I think the first thing you must see is that you can't save everyone. Try and save every single person and you will lose people in the process. Trust me, the man states, as he looks down at what's happening below. Goku is struggling to hold himself back here, but it doesn't seem like this guy is giving him much choice in the matter. Therefore, he just waits, keeping his eyes off the murderous scene below him, waiting for the moment this man can give his body back. Goku continues looking down and starts feeling not just sadness, but a sense of fear when he thinks about the man by his side. He looks on at the scene with this odd, creepy smile, and his hair is also slowly flowing as the massacre happens. Just as Goku feels like he couldn't wait any longer, he is freed. Shooting himself down, he lands on the ground and cracks it from how fast he's descended. Landing, his muscles are popping more than they usually did, and his eyes flash red as he looks up to meet Frieza's own. Frieza has a Dragon Ball in his hand and hurls it into the distance before dusting off his hands. "I wonder why you just kept on looking at me. Too scared to face me?" Frieza asks, making sure to stay out of range as he says this. Even if he wants to act confidently and convince himself Goku is scared, he just saw how strong Goku is. Goku looks down to his body and feels like he has gotten even stronger than he just was. It feels different though, like he's changed in some way. One thing that has changed about him is that his skin has gotten slightly lighter than what it was. Not only that, Frieza can feel this aura surrounding him, this intense pressure that exudes from him as he stood there. Stepping forward, he feels his body almost stop him from moving forward. "What is this? I'm not scared of this thing, no way," Frieza exclaims, before preparing to fly forward. He brings himself to doing so, but then sees the ground ahead of him quaking. Goku looks down with confusion, then looks up to see that time has frozen. "Let me show you what I have to offer you, Goku. You saved lives and now I'll thank you for it," the Saiyan says from beside him before vanishing. From beyond the grave, two grass and mud covered corpses come from the dirt. These are the corpses of Zarbon and Vegeta. They resemble zombies in their appearance, with some parts of their skin ripped open and revealing the decayed flesh below. They're stood side by side and standing totally still. "What is this?" Goku asks, almost terrified by them. "They're your minions now, your army. Tell them what they must do and they'll do it for you." Just like that, he speaks. "This is so creepy," Goku replies. He's really starting to regret signing his soul away to this guy. He doesn't want to use the power of the dead. Why did he fall into this guy's trap? Don't worry, this is the power that you need to save people. It might not be pretty, it might not be flashy, but this is how you save lives, Goku. Real lives, he claims, before vanishing for the second time in this short event. Zarbon and Vegeta turn to Goku before kneeling and keeping their heads down. "What is your order?" they both ask, with demonic ghoulish voices. They sound somewhat like how they did when they were alive, but their voices now resemble that of the undead. "Take him out," Goku says, pointing to Frieza. Now Frieza can't move. Not only does he feel this weird pressure, but what are these odd creatures? These demons that look like true abominations of nature. Of course he saw Goku kill Zarbon, but he didn't know that he'd killed Vegeta. "Well, turns out your prince title didn't mean anything, did it, Vegeta?" he says, staring into Vegeta's eyes. Before you can do anything, the two zombie-like creatures power up and start getting engulfed in a weird red energy. Their eyes glow the same red colour that Goku's does, and their power levels start skyrocketing past the levels their ordinary bodies were capable of. Zarbon is in his transformed state and has a power level of 1 million, with Vegeta's at 600,000. The two creatures fire off toward Frieza, with Vegeta launching a ki blast right at him. He takes the attack and then realizes that these two fighters are nothing compared to him. As Zarbon reaches out one of his mammoth hands to try and grab him, he swats the arm away and in this same motion slices straight through it. It severs the arm and Zarbon is sent sliding to the side. However, the arm regenerates in an instant and it was like the injury was never even there. The separated forearm of Zarbon then starts to steam with black energy and vanish into nothing at all. "What is this?" Frieza asks himself, before catching Vegeta's next punch. The force makes Vegeta stop right in place, and Frieza can take all the impact force with ease. He's currently 100 times stronger than Vegeta, so there's nothing that will happen here. He snaps Vegeta's arm and breaks it, even revealing his broken bone under his dead flesh. However, he doesn't even react and just takes back his arm before snapping it back in place. In the very next moment, healing takes place that connects his arm together fully. Smirking, he fires off yet again and Frieza continues getting harassed by these zombie soldiers. To be honest, it's no challenge for him, but he just continues thinking about this Saiyan's powers. He's never seen anyone with the ability to resurrect the dead and make them fight according to his will. Not only that, but he can tell that they're stronger than they ever were during their own lifetimes. Frieza is getting tired of this fight and just steps back a great deal. Zarbon and Vegeta charge forward shouting with their undead demonic voices. There's a screech as an undertone to their shout, and as they advance, Frieza unleashes a full power energy wave from both hands. They engulf the fighters and he roars and puts as much power into the blasts as he can. After breaking their bones, severing their limbs, punching through their bodies, they just continue to come back. However, as the smoke around the ground fades, all that is left is black smoke around where they were before the blast impacted them. The smoke soon disappears, only leaving the greyer smoke from the blast. Goku just fires forward himself, taking over the fight. He punches Frieza in his neck and almost breaks his spine from this single attack. Frieza is sent flying back and slams into a mountain. The impact makes him cough blood, then really makes him think. All he can see in his view is this Saiyan hurtling toward him at full throttle. He's leaving a large trail of dust behind him as he flies forward, and his fists are aimed straight for him. Now there's nothing he can do at all. He feels a sharp hot pain in his back and can already feel blood pooling up in his mouth. Either he can fight and most likely die, or run from this demon and save himself. Leaping out the way of Goku's attack, he swings dust into his eyes using his tail. Goku is caught by this perfectly and shouts in pain. "Come back, Frieza, I didn't think you'd stoop this low to play this game," Goku roars, wiping his eyes with anger. Frieza flies off as fast as he possibly can and flies directly upwards. In a flash, he's in outer space and continues to fly away as fast as he can. He doesn't even look back once when doing so. No words fly through his mind. All he cares about is getting as far away from that Saiyan as he can. Goku opens his eyes to see no Frieza at all. Trying to sense his ki, he can see that he's completely gone as well. Where did he go? Looks like he was too scared to face me. I hope I've scared him out of doing anything else in the future, Goku thinks, looking up. You think people like him change? The Saiyan asks, standing beside him. Goku just doesn't reply before walking away from him. He doesn't want to see that man again. He's changed him, darkened him. It feels weird, but he can tell that something is there inside of him, this impurity. You think you can let him survive? He's evil incarnate, no matter where he goes, no matter what he does, the man says, before Goku's body freezes in place. He will always return to his instincts, he says. He frees his body and Goku cowers away from him while shouting. Get away from me. You let so many people die in front of me. You're evil yourself, Goku roars. Don't let your emotions get in the way of what you know is truly right, Goku. You have to get rid of those that hurt others, and you need to save as many lives as possible. This is what I've shown you, this is what I've told you. It might not be pretty, but do you not want to be a hero? This is what a hero does. This is what is good. Goku stops and reasons through what he said. It makes sense. Did he really save lives? Did he actually make sure more people lived by letting those die? Fine, is all Goku says in response, before flying off. He can tell that time is still frozen for a decent amount of time in his flight, but he soon sees the clouds around him moving. The man has left him alone for now, and he arrives back at his base with the Dragon Ball that Frieza had tried to throw away. In this trip, he's managed to scare away Frieza and get 2 more Dragon Balls. Goku, you're back, Krillin says, as he returns. Goku lands back on the ground ahead of him, and Krillin just takes this time to look at his new muscular physique. It's even more impressive than what he once remembered, and he sees that Goku is a decent bit taller than he remembered him to be as well. I am. Let's wish back our friend so we can get out of here, Goku says, placing the balls on the ground. Now Krillin can feel that something has changed. There's this weird darkness around him, this pressure. What is it? Goku asks, seeing him just stare at him while not moving at all. Krillin jumps upon hearing him speak before just shaking his head and awkwardly laughing. Sorry, I was just stuck in a trance there. Yeah, let's revive our friends, he replies, finishing off his statement with another awkward chuckle. Did you beat Frieza? Krillin asks, as he starts to gather the Dragon Balls they already have. I didn't, but you ran off. He won't be a threat any longer, Goku comments, as he grabs another Dragon Ball. The two then summon the Dragon Purunga, only to see that they need an Namekian to speak his language. Flying off into the distance in search of one, Krillin sees a massacred village, with what looks like 100 Namekian corpses all strewn across the floor. Who did that? Was that Frieza? Krillin asks, stopping with shock. It was. Come on, there won't be any Namekians there, Goku says, getting ready to fly off. Now Krillin gives Goku this look of concern as he begins to fly off. The Goku he knows will not be able to look at such a scene and just fly off like there was nothing there at all. Shaking his head, he flies after him and catches back up to him, where they arrive at another village that seems to be doing quite well. With that, they wish for their friends to be revived, and this pretty much brings an end to the saga. Their friends are alive back on Earth and they head home soon after. Everyone is pleased to be reunited together, and Krillin can see that he's just as happy as he'd expect. Maybe it was all in his head. Goku seems quite bubbly and cheerful upon arriving back on Earth, so maybe it was just a new atmosphere. Anyway, Krillin puts those thoughts behind him as peace is upon them again. During this year, Goku does some light training, but just spends time figuring out these new powers of his, so he can control the bodies of those he has killed with his own hands. As for Raditz, he can't summon him no matter how hard he tries, because it was Piccolo that killed him and not himself. However, as he tries to revive Zarbon and Dodoria, their bodies are revealed out of nowhere. They are decayed, deathly corpses physically, but are incredibly powerful, and he finds that they do get stronger as he does. They aren't as strong as him, nowhere near, but he attributes this to the fact that they weren't that strong when they were alive. It makes him think about what would happen if he were to kill Frieza and use his body in this form. It would be fitting for a man like him, so that he could actually use his power for a good cause. It's too bad that he's nowhere to be found, and it seems he's gone so far that he can't even sense his ki. The whole year passes, and future Trunks arrives from the past as Frieza returns with his father and and King Cold. Frieza spent a long time just rogue and away from his duties. He didn't want to be seen in this state of mind, crippled by fear from a Saiyan. However, he got by, just thinking about how to get back at Goku and take revenge. Future Trunks can't even rush in there to try and take him down. Instead, Goku is there to face him first, just as he had predicted. He awaits their defeat by just stepping down and crossing his legs, suppressing his ki so that he isn't found just yet. He doesn't want to be found out before it's necessary. I thought you'd be too scared to ever show your face here, Goku shouts, making Frieza's eye twitch. However, he doesn't want to show these words have affected him in front of his father. Instead, he just chuckles and crosses his arms. That was me in the past. Let me tell you that things have changed, Frieza states. He hasn't let anyone know this, but he's trained. Yep, Frieza has actually gotten down and trained. Now, he doesn't have the motivation of literally getting killed and sent to hell to come back and get revenge, but he is just annoyed at being scared of that Saiyan so much. So with that motivation and the discipline he's acquired by basically just overseeing the Empire and not doing much himself, he trains for a good week or so before he is burnt out. This isn't heavy training either, but very heavy for Frieza's standards. Even after this short period, Frieza's power level skyrockets up to 850 million. Cracking his knuckles, he feels like he has this fight in the bag. He soars off toward Goku with a power level of 425 million as he uses 50%. Even King Cold smiles upon seeing how much faster his son has become. Swinging his tail at Goku, he lands a clean shot and slingshots him away. Frieza isn't done though. He fires off toward him again, grabbing him by the neck to slam him down forcefully. Goku grunts in pain, feeling his voice box crush under the impact. Frieza feels overcome by emotion upon seeing himself in this position. With Goku under his hand, coughing blood and in agony. He's done this. He's the stronger one now. He throws down haymaker after haymaker, screaming with each punch. He lets out every pent-up bit of anger and rage that he's felt during this year. The numerous times he thought back to running from Goku, a Saiyan, running. All he knows is that won't happen again. Future Trunks is now on his feet as he watches from afar. This is not how he was expecting this to go. Does Goku even have Super Saiyan, and if he does, why is he not using it? As he throws down another punch though, he sees a golden aura of ki covering the hand that grabs onto his own. Goku fires up into Super Saiyan as the blood on his body flies off from this outburst of ki. His muscles buff up and he looks like a true menace as he towers over Frieza. Grabbing him by the neck, there's nothing he can do. Frieza even latches onto him with his tail, but he just can't manage to free himself. He grabs onto his arm of his and hurls it away before grabbing him by the neck. He went in to latch onto his neck in almost an instant. He almost was impossible to see as he moved. Goku then kicks him in the chest as hard as he can, not even letting him escape. Frieza then grabs onto his arm with his two hands, trying to push him off, but he just can't. He continues to kick and kick at his chest, slowly walking forwards. Look at you, pure evil. I scared you away, but that instinct inside you drew you back to cause more mayhem, more destruction, Goku comments. As he walks forward, something very odd happens. His golden aura begins to darken and blooded. It turns to the same scarlet colour of his eyes, and this makes Future Trunks intrigued. Is this a power that he's not aware of? Probably. From what he's heard about Goku, he was a man of many tricks. Goku headbutts Frieza repeatedly and relentlessly before grabbing onto his tail to continuously swing him overhead. Those watching are almost scared by Goku's brutality. Just what did this guy do to make Goku act in this way? Krillin can see that his thoughts weren't off. Something really did change. Goku then swings him around before hurling him into King Cold, making the large fighter fall onto his bottom. If you want to challenge me too, then do it. I'm not scared, Goku states, beckoning the large fighter in. Just judging from the hit of his son's head into his chest, he starts to realise that fighting this guy might not be the best option. Standing back up, he rubs his chest before coughing. He assumes this to just be some random cough until he looks down and sees blood in his mammoth hand. Whoa, from this Saiyan. Goku just wants to take this man out himself and fires off at full speed to drive his hand straight through his chest. King Cold has only a few seconds to look at this glowing red Saiyan being filled with fear and agony as his last two sensations before he takes his final breath. Goku rips his hand out to let his body fall onto Frieza, who strugglingly frees himself from under him. Just like before, he runs off with his tail between his legs, leaving his dead father there and saving himself from certain death. Goku just turns, trying to shake off the blood on his arm before he sees time has frozen. Why did you kill that man? The Saiyan asks, with his arms crossed. He was related to Frieza, I could see. I think he was his father. I'm sure the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree, Goku replies, trying to wipe the blood from his hand. It just feels off-putting to have this constant reminder of what he's just done. He starts to feel this guilt, but tells himself that no, he was supposed to do that to save those around him. You didn't know that though. You killed an innocent life. Goku flies straight toward him, now facing him directly. I didn't kill an innocent life. You heard Frieza talking about killing me and only had a smile to give. Don't tell me that he wasn't evil, Goku roars. The man just lifts a finger to Goku's forehead, flicking it. The power behind this strike is immense and leaves Goku flying away at full pelt. He's sent rolling and flipping through this wasteland before he finally comes to a stop at least 500 meters away. He's still left dazed from what's happened, trying to get his mind back to what's happening now. "I'm only stating what I saw, no need to get all aggressive on me saying," he states, before vanishing into nothing. Instead of waking up in that position, he returns to that very same moment where he was just before he arrived. Before the Saiyan arrived. He was walking and suddenly stops, touching his head. It's a little weird to those watching, but he just continues to walk toward the group as if nothing happened, before he meets future Trunks, who is stood before him. He has his little spar with Goku, and this time the Saiyan isn't as kind and light as he was in canon. As Trunks runs straight at him, he punches him in the face and sends him flying back. He ends up hitting his head on the ground and passes out for a short while before slowly waking up and being helped up by some of Goku's friends. This moment makes the others shocked. Why would he just fully sock this kid out of nowhere? "I'm sorry man, I did hold back," Goku says, somewhat sorry for what he did. "I mean, it wasn't his fault. He didn't know that he was going to be much weaker than him." "Goku, come on, why would you go so hard on him?" Krillin asks, now getting slightly irritated of his new attitude. When Goku sees these concerned faces falling upon future Trunks and Goku, it makes him feel ostracized from the group. "Sorry Trunks," Goku says, wiping his head with a light awkward chuckle. He soon stands, feeling out his jaw before shaking his head. "No, don't worry, it's fine," he replies, before readying himself to get Goku involved with what's about to happen. The androids. This leads the people all to begin their training, and it's some tough stuff, they must admit. However, what is crazy is that Goku can just heal them on the spot. After they feel spent and worn down, he shoots these translucent balls of red energy their way to heal them. This makes the fighters train significantly harder than they did in the canon timeline. Goku doesn't want to see any of his friends die, and upon training you can see some great potential with Gohan. Upon starting their training, he makes the most progress and therefore he wants to see the unlocking of his latent potential. However, this leads him to be rather grueling and tough with training Gohan. The others don't understand why he's being so hard on him, but Goku knows it's all for a better cause. "Why don't all of these people understand? They're just not on the same page," the Saiyan says in Goku's ear as he's resting from his training. "No, they mean good. I think if they knew what I was trying to do, they'd understand more. I need him to be stronger to protect himself, to protect those around him," Goku states. "To save as many people as possible," Goku furthers. "Yes, Goku, that's the man whose soul I have," the man jokes, making Goku just swing at him as he's trying to just go through the motions of his training. The 3-year break has soon ended, and Goku is watching over the city of Sasebo with his friends. During this time, Goku has made the most progress. The level of training that Goku's managed to maintain is insane. He's basically just continued fighting and healing on the spot. Gohan is stood behind him and Krillin is also close by his side. As Krillin spent more time training, he managed to find more time to cleverly find ways of trying to catch up with the Saiyans and Piccolo. He's grown far more proficient with his Destructor Disc and is already working on his Solar Flare times 100. The power of dazzling people even with their eyes closed is something that he's thought of, and he knows that it's a technique he'd love to add to his arsenal. They all dive into the city of Sasebo, and Yamcha is the first to find the androids just like in the canon timeline. This time he's able to land a single ki blast on Dr. Gero before meeting the same fate that he did in canon. Goku, upon seeing this, is enraged. He doesn't even think twice before trying to fight himself. He doesn't even think of fighting elsewhere. He wants to take this fight and win it now. Lifting one hand, the zombie Vegeta appears out of nowhere and begins smiling like some maniac at the androids. Now this makes Gero intrigued. He saw something like this through his flying B camera and couldn't place a finger on what this was exactly. Vegeta lets out a ghastly scream and charges straight toward the two androids. Dr. Gero falls back to let 19 take this fighter on and they both clash. Now this isn't much of a problem for 19. He just lifts his arms and tanks most of the attacks landing on his body before punching the zombie Vegeta once in his face. This attack knocks him back several meters, but of course he doesn't get affected by this pain any longer. He just continues firing forward and going to attack and taking the damage from 19 with ease. He even gets an energy blast straight through his stomach, but he returns to his feet and the damage to his guts just heals in almost an instant. "Power up, provide a challenge," Goku shouts, making Vegeta screech like a ghoul. His hair turns to a golden colour, but his aura remains the pure midnight black that it has been. The zombie Vegeta is now using Super Saiyan. "What is going on here?" Gero asks, before watching the zombie Vegeta speed blitz 19. He lands a single clean punch to his jaw that he was not ready for whatsoever. Vegeta follows with a series of punches and kicks onto his person. Each attack is swung in with ferocity and true explosion. 19 is too slow and his sensory systems just aren't advanced enough to pick up what's happening. He clearly wasn't built to fight warriors of this caliber. Zombie Vegeta ends up slashing his neck, severing his head clean off before blasting blasting what remains of his body to smithereens. Now this is enough prompt for Gero to try and get as far away from this place as fast as he possibly can. He goes off flying at top speed, leaving the two warriors in the dust. Track him down and do what you must to eliminate him, Goku says to Vegeta, who turns and flies off toward him as fast as he can. Goku then powers up into Super Saiyan himself, catching up to them. What he doesn't notice in this moment is that his body has contracted the heart virus. However, steam starts to flow off his chest as his body goes into overdrive to fight it. He feels a slight stinging pain from his chest as he looks down, and it takes his mind off what's happening for a short moment. However, the pain vanishes seconds later. He can see this steam emitting off his body and can tell that the virus has been dealt with. The zombie Vegeta finds Gero's lab, and the other humans are just left in the sky to watch what's happening here. So this universe really is different, Trunks realizes. In this timeline he won't even be born. In front of him is a zombie version of his father, blindly following Goku's command as if he's some form of necromancer. It's terribly weird to see his father in such a state, and it makes him even more frightened by Goku himself to be using such weird demonic powers. He opens the lab and reveals the androids 17 and 18. The two androids try to fight Goku, but Vegeta acts as a loyal guardian, protecting him from the threat. Vegeta, who would have thought you'd end up like this, Android 17 says, before grabbing his hand to slam it into the ground. This makes him screech in pain and wriggle around to try and free himself, but since 17 is just so much stronger than him, he's kept pinned down. Alright Goku, how about you fight yourself? Stop using these minions of yours to do your bidding, 17 states. Fine, follow me, Goku says, before blasting off into the air. 17 and 18 follow, with Vegeta following close by. The other fighters just continue following them until they arrive in a battle wasteland, where the fight can continue. Vegeta is still the one to act as the first line of defense, but there's little that he can do. 17 does have infinite stamina and believes that he'll get the upper hand this way, but from the fight he can see that Vegeta doesn't tire either. Not only that, but whatever injury he incurs vanishes in a matter of seconds. This really begins to put him off. Alright then Goku, enough's enough. I'm not fighting this stupid zombie anymore, 17 roars, stomping its head into the ground. As he does this, the zombie soon fades away into nothing, and black smoke floats up from his slightly raised foot. Alright then, you'll regret those words, Goku says, powering up into Super Saiyan with his arms crossed. Blasting forward, he takes both androids off guard and lands a single punch on 17 that sends him completely flying. Before he can crash into the ground, he zooms past him to kick him in the back, catapulting him into the sky. 17 goes flipping and flying like a cannonball shot from a cannon. He can't even make out what's happening around him as the world just keeps spinning around him so fast. Goku then leaps up, smashing his head into his chest to break some of the biological and mechanical components in there. 17 coughs out blood and sparks fly out from certain areas in his chest as he is sent further up. Now it's time for me to get rid of you, Goku declares, before pulling back his hands to charge his ultimate attack. 17 is still shaken up by the assault, and before he knows it, a dark blue energy wave is hurtling his way. All he can do is lift his arms to catch it, and it's a massive impact. He can feel the force throughout his entire body, and he pushes as hard as he can to try and push it back. Even 18 fires up a ki blast at Goku to try and distract him, but as it hits him, it does nothing. Don't interfere, Goku roars, leaving one hand to shoot an energy blast back at 18. It soars down with immense speed, moving way faster than 18's own blasted. All she can do is lift her forearms to block the attack in time and is slammed right into the ground, creating a crater. You're both evil, and I hate evil, Goku roars, before pouring more and more power into his energy wave. It continues to grow in size, and he makes it more and more challenging for 17 to push against it by the second. The blast soon breaks past his hands and engulfs him, destroying what is left of him in the center. As the smoke of the blast fades, nothing is left of 17. 18, who is further below, was just left to watch this as it happened and can barely move her body. It feels rock hard, and she's just left to stare up at the sky as her brother dies. Goku descends until he is left to stand above her, blocking the sun from view. All she can see is his darkened upside down face with a slight smirk to it as well. Lifting his hand, he blasts her in the face, leaving what remains of her lower body intact. The others are still trying to come to terms with how brutally Goku fights now, but Trunks feels happy to see them go down like that. After seeing the horrors they committed in his timeline, this really does put a smile on his face. As Goku returns to the group, he can feel something in the distance, an unknown strong power. Do you feel that, he asks, before they can even say a word to him. What, like ki? No, I can only feel ours, Krillin states. I sense an unknown ki, but it feels like ours, Goku realizes, as he tries to focus more on it. Trunks is now starting to realize that the heart virus doesn't seem to be affecting him. Based on what Bulma had been told by future Gohan, it was about now when the virus was starting to take its toll on his body. However, he looks just as healthy as he ever had been. Trunks doesn't seem as surprised by this. He's already seen so many things change in this timeline compared to his own. His father is already dead, he is never born, and even more has been altered. Goku extends his arm and the veins on it start to become more pronounced. He grunts with pain upon feeling heavy stress in his arm, and this alerts those around him. Why does this hurt so much, he asks internally. Time stops and the man he was addressing appears. You're trying to summon the androids. It's harder for two reasons. One, they're not fully human anymore. The machine in them has tainted their soul, making it less compatible with the power you have. Second, they're extremely strong. You boost the powers of whoever you kill. If they're somewhat close to your power level, it becomes harder to control them and use them as pawns. Don't worry, it shouldn't be impossible for you though. It'll just take a lot more effort and energy, the demon elaborates. A Super Saiyan zombified Vegeta and the two zombified androids appear. What is weird about their appearance is that there are some parts to their body that seem completely fine and healthy. Their bodies have these plates of normal coloured skin and metallic compartments that haven't been affected by their deaths and reanimation. Go and track down that fighter for me, bring them here. If they aren't a good guy, take them down on the spot, Goku says, letting the three warriors fly off at top speed toward the man. As they fly in a trio, leaving a three-line contrail in the sky, they suddenly stop. Wait, you need to save as many lives as possible. They can't all go and help them, as others will die. How? Goku asks, a little annoyed. The Saiyan this time doesn't have a witty remark to his question. Now this makes Goku seriously concerned. Was he lying to him? No, he's always seemed like a great person with the best for people at the top of his mind. Of course his powers are quite ugly and dark in nature, but who cares if they're used for a benevolent purpose? Wait, I can explain, he replies shortly after. Don't tell me you've been lying, Goku says, pointing straight at him. He can't believe this. As the thoughts start to come to his mind of the times he let innocents die, his emotions begin to flare up. Wait, I haven't been lying but just withholding some information from you, and I'm sorry for that. The power that you have, that you use to save people, is powered by the life force of creatures. Just as Goku goes into rebut, the man lifts his finger. Wait, I'm not finished. I've lived far longer than you, and I've seen that saving people means that some people must be lost as a cost. The real power that you need to protect the world, the power I have given you, draws power from the very minuscule number of lives that are unfortunately lost. Trust me, you cannot save everyone without my power. This time, surprisingly, Goku doesn't give a remark. He's still emotional, lost in his own head, but doesn't seem infuriated by what's about to happen. I saved your life from Vegeta. Without my power, Frieza would be alive and be killing more people. Krillin would have died. You wouldn't have been able to revive your son, Gohan. The androids would have been created and wreaked havoc beyond your imagination. This is the only way, Goku. Follow me and everyone will be saved, the Saiyan says, placing a hand on his shoulder. More than 15 seconds pass as Goku continues to look forward, clouded by so many thoughts as he is deep in contemplation. Fine, I believe you. I trust you, Goku replies. Thank you, Goku. You're closer than I expected. To what? Goku asks. To helping those that need your help, the man claims, before vanishing. The others believe those fighters have gone to fight the man that Goku has identified, but instead they watch as he devours numerous humans. All these zombies do is wait, and wait for Goku's call to step in. During this time, Goku just waits himself, for the demon Saiyan to give him— Are they fighting the guy now? Trunks asks, by his side. Yeah, they are, Goku says, while crossing his arms, then turning back to the group. They go about discussing what to do next, and Goku just says that they should wait for that fighter to be dealt with. He seems very reluctant to go over and see what's happening, and this confuses the other warriors. He's a very highly respected warrior, he's the reason a lot of them are alive right now, and so don't try and ask too many questions. In this time though, Goku starts to feel strain on his body. It starts off as a sensation like a headband being tightened around his head. This is from him trying to control the zombified androids. It's becoming incredibly difficult to keep things up, but he stays in Super Saiyan to give him that extra power and waits for the job to be done. At the scene, Cell sucks the key of the last humans in Ginger Town, cackling from the power that he can feel flowing through his body. As he lifts, he receives a kick straight to his face from Vegeta. He's sent flying back and tumbles into a building before 17 dives into him and both fists aimed forward. He is sent straight through the building before 18 grabs his tail to swing him around and slam him into the road this time. I really can't be bothered with this, so let's make it quick, 17 shouts, cracking his knuckles. Vegeta seems to be like a mindless minion, but people that are stronger when Goku killed them have a lot more consciousness when they get resurrected to be these zombies. 17 still follows Goku, but he has a lot more of the mind that he had before Goku killed him. These fighters don't seem to know how much they've already hurt Cell though. He strugglingly raises up to his hands and knees from getting hit by that attack, then is hit right in the face by Vegeta. Vegeta screeches at the fallen fighter, making the other two a little startled. Cell is starting to see blurs and the sun seems a lot brighter than it once did. He's been really beat up by these attacks, but his body is incredibly durable. We saw half of his body get shaved off and just come back, so if the nucleus in his head isn't destroyed, he'll be fine. Just as he lifts to a single knee to attack, he sees 17's open palms aiming at his face. "Good night," he says, before firing off a series of blasts at Cell. The fighter that is Cell is gone, just like that, and the fighters poof into nothing once their job is done. Goku takes in a deep breath upon being relieved of that stress and is happy to know that the job is done. This leaves no more threats for them to deal with. The body of Cell is now added to his arsenal of zombies for him to control, and he can deploy them at any moment to deal with threats when needed. During this 7-year time skip, peace is instilled on Earth, and during this time somebody starts talking a lot more than before. The Saiyan, the Demon Saiyan. Goku and the man start talking about the world and how Goku can continue this period of peace. What if this isn't the goal though, the man asks, that is sat beside Goku who is sat in a vast grassland. What do you mean, Goku asks, before picking up a bead of grass from the ground. He spent a lot more time just enjoying what the world has to offer now that he knows there is true peace. Even if Frieza has been gone for a while, he's confident that when he comes, if he comes, he will have the power to take him down. Like, what if some people have to go? Like a world order. Have the strong at the top watching over those at the bottom, telling them how they should conduct themselves to keep things in order. If people can't integrate into that society, they should get sacrificed for the greater good, he states. This brings back several concerns that Goku has had with this man. He started to get used to him being around, he's kind of had to. I mean, he signed a contract, and with him having his soul and forcing him to follow pretty much every command he gives him, there's no choice in the matter. He can't get rid of him. I mean, he's seen various powers that this Demon Saiyan can use. He can stop time, and he's basically given him all the zombification powers that he has now. So upsetting him could be dangerous for him. That's wrong. Everybody deserves the chance to live. Why should we let some people live over others? Goku asks. The man doesn't even reply and just lightly chuckles after he says this. Wait, Goku hasn't been following that philosophy. He's been killing those that are evil. But they're evil though. They cause so much harm to other people. It doesn't just come down to people that are psychopathic murderers, Goku. There are still people that aren't capable of that violence and wrongdoing, but those that fester that dark will in others. Manipulators, the ignorant, other people that cause this mayhem, this chaos. Shouldn't they all go to let that peace remain? He asks further. Goku gives no such reply at first. What he said makes total sense to him, but it still has that same ambiguity that his words always carry. So, what would you do? What do you mean by that? Goku asks further. He then puts his hands up, pushing himself back slightly. No, I'm just giving random ideas. I didn't say I believed anything I said. It's just good to be on the other side sometimes, to see if your ideas really hold up to scrutiny, the man says, before standing. Think about it. You want peace, prosperity. Think about if you can do that with everyone still around. Frieza couldn't be in that world, Dodoria couldn't, Zarbon couldn't. See if you find anyone else that fits that criteria, he states. Goku stands, and then their conversation goes a different way as he begins to fly back to his friends. The following years of this time skip then pass, and peace is soon to be broken. Goku is watching Gohan fight Kibito, and he did enter this tournament reluctantly. All he remembers from fighting is the grueling training that his father would put him through. However, the Z Fighters and Goku did convince him to come back for just one time, and he has been the superhero, the Great Saiyan Man, during this time, so it isn't all that bad. He is still attacked by Yamu and Spopovich, and Goku then sends the zombie Vegeta after the duo. He screeches as he chases after them, zooming through the air at top speed. He assails Yamu, grabbing him and kicking him in the stomach. This attack breaks his ribcage, but just as he kills him with this attack, Spopovich stabs the device into his back. This allows him to suck even more energy from him. It begins exploding up the meter way faster than he expected, and breaks past the meter's max reading rather quickly. Wait, let's see where he's going, Goku orders. Vegeta just stands still, and the man is left to escape. Alright, let's go and see what's going on, he says, and Vegeta fires off at top speed in Super Saiyan to land in front of the spaceship. Goku lands close by him, and Dabura appears shortly after. He shoots his spit at Vegeta, and it lands on him since he sees no reason to move. It lands on him, and the spit starts to turn him to stone. However, a few seconds pass, and cracks appear in the stone statue of Vegeta. Let those cracks break out and he'll never be the same again, Dabura shouts. They continue to expand, but then layers of the stone start shaving off the statue. As this happens, it releases small puffs of black smoke. Soon under the stone exterior is Vegeta's decayed, rotten flesh that has been restored. The stone is soon all removed, and what is left is just this ordinary body. Vegeta then growls as he zooms down toward Dabura, sharpening his hand to sever his head off completely. That's the end of him. As they begin to talk some more, Goku hears about who this Majin Buu is. Apparently he is an evil character from many millennia ago that destroyed galaxies and caused much death and suffering. Goku knows that this is his chance to get rid of him. However, Goku, upon hearing the level of his power, starts to wonder what would happen if he made his fighter his minion. It would be a great fighter to add to his arsenal, and he's dead set on doing that. Upon entering the ship, Gohan is instead the fighter to take on Pui Pui, since Vegeta is Goku's minion now and not alive. Even in the 10 times gravity he hasn't used before, he is still far more powerful than the warrior and takes him down rather quickly. As for Goku, all he needs to do is go Super Saiyan to take out Yako. Since they've defeated Dabura, they've taken down all the fighters Babidi has to offer them. Since they've already defeated Dabura, they've taken down all the fighters Babidi has to offer them. However, upon sensing Goku's powers, he can feel that he is a good target. He can sense this pure dark evil inside him, like Buu's if he's totally honest. It's surprising for such a pure-hearted guy to have this impurity inside him, but he doesn't care. All he needs is his power. Goku feels this throbbing pain in his head and can feel somebody trying to take control of his mind. Now, there's a darkness for Babidi to grasp onto, but since Goku is just so strong, he can battle this. However, from Spopovich, he's taken enough energy to get Buu activated right away anyway. The demon is resurrected, and those around Goku try to get rid of him before he activates. Goku, come on, we have to stop him from resurrecting, Gohan insists, as he continues to try and blast the opening brown ball. You might be strong, Saiyan, but this Majin Buu will be beyond your power. Nobody has come to challenge him in history. It's not good to play with fire by assuming such confidence, Shin shouts, starting to blast the brown egg himself. They continue to fire off at the sealed ball, thinking that they've taken Buu out before he could fully activate. However, their hopes are denied as Buu reveals himself. The large fat pink fighter steps forward and acts as goofily as he always has. Ah, Majin Buu, the demon says, from beside Goku. What, do you know him? Goku asks. I do, from a long time ago. He used to be much closer to me. I saw him when he was just a newborn, but I didn't expect him to end up like this, he explains. What, how did you see a demon get born? Are you a demon yourself? Goku asks. Oh, stop with that interrogating, Goku. No, I'm not a demon. Things just worked a little differently when I was younger. Long before your time, very long before your time, he explains, before vanishing. Buu gets ready to fight those ahead of him at Babidi's command. He bats his chest and then flies forward, much to the terror of Kibito and Shin who watch this. As soon as they see the advance, traumatizing memories just flood through their minds of their friends getting brutally killed by this thing. It's a bit weird to see Buu moving so fast even from his very rotund shape. However, Goku lifts up and sends his hand straight through its chest before ripping it out. He thinks that the job is done, but all he hears is laughing from behind him. Why are you laughing? Goku asks. You won't kill a guy like him like that. You need to shred every single part of his body. Just watch and see, the demon Saiyan says, pointing back toward Buu. The hole in Buu's chest seals up right away before he grabs Goku from both sides. He's still in his base form, and even if he is much stronger, this is still a challenge to resist Buu. He continues grabbing him, then throws a few headbutts in. Now, these strikes hurt quite badly, but Goku just swings himself overhead and slams Buu into the ground. Following this, he roars while still in his restricted position and enters Super Saiyan 2 in an instant. Destroying Buu's hands with just his intense aura, he grabs him to then catapult him into the air. Aiming both hands up, two dark blue energy blasts appear in his hands, with the same hue as the dark twilight sky. Firing these two dark blasts above, they zoom toward Buu and engulf him. With so much heat and power, it's safe to say that the fighter is done now. As the blasts dissipate, nothing is left of Buu. Just like that, Goku has managed to defeat him. Instead of staying there though, he flies off into the distance to test something, so no one can watch him. Lifting his hand, he feels that same strain on it that he did when trying to summon the androids for the first time. From the ground, a grey looking Majin Buu appears from the ground, with glowing red eyes as he stands before Goku. What Goku wants Buu does, Buu exclaims, while patting his chest like a child. It's clear that he's kept a lot of his character, but it's good to see that he's still in his power. He was hoping that he wouldn't be too strong to the point where Goku would struggle to contain him. It's about that time again, Goku. If you want the life force you need for this power, you need to remove some others. I know it's hard, but it's what you must do to keep saving people from terror like this, the demon Saiyan states. Fine, Goku replies, before giving Buu the order to take out a few hundred people, then return here when he's done. He is told to aim for criminals, other people that he can discern are bad people, but beyond that, to just take out anyone at random. It hurts Goku to see this happen, but now it hurts less. He's been told it's for a good cause, and so doesn't think too much about it. Krillin ends up flying away and then feels this weird decreasing ki in the distance. Heading over to the area, he sees this weird fighter flying through the city, killing relentlessly. This fighter he can see takes a few seconds to scout out the area before pouncing in and causing much distress and murder in the streets. He's moving so fast that the ordinary humans in the city don't really know what's happening. Upon watching more closely, you can see that this is the fighter that Goku had just defeated. His body freezes. No, this can't be. Why would Goku defeat that fighter only to let it go on a rampage like this? Now he feels too scared to move. His mind is just clouded with way too many thoughts. In this moment, he can then sense a strong ki heading toward him from behind, Goku. He flies forward at top speed, but Goku stops in place and holds his arms out. "I promise you, Krillin, this isn't what it looks like," Goku says. As he arrives, Majin Buu stops moving, then turns to black smoke. He's made sure to deactivate him in Krillin's presence, and he does have some explaining to do. "Goku, what is that? You're using a minion to kill people. I knew something happened to you on Namek. Did you get possessed by a demon or something?" Krillin shouts, going into a panic. "No, wait, I need to be strong enough to save people, so I'm using a power that lets me do that. Without it, I can't keep the peace," Goku explains. "Peace? You call that below peace? Look at the people in the streets, they're terrified. You're murdering people, why are you doing that? That isn't peace." "No, it's to power myself. The powers aren't good looking, they're quite dark in nature, but that is the power I can use to save people," Goku insists. As he continues to argue with Krillin, he starts getting annoyed at the fact that he just isn't listening to him. He's ignorant, he can't see the bigger picture. Why can't anyone see the bigger picture? "I can't let this continue," Krillin shouts, before trying to fly off. However, Goku stops him from doing so and appears in front of him as he turns. "I can't let you go. I promise you this is the only way to bring peace to the world," Goku claims. "You're sick, Goku. I need to show everyone what you've done, who you are now. If you aren't willing to change, I can't let you go on like this," he exclaims. "I can't let you go," Goku shouts. Lifting his hands to his face, Krillin prepares to use the solar flare, but stops suddenly as a laser blast fires through his chest. He stops and looks down to Goku's extended finger that has been aimed at him. "What made you do this?" Krillin asks, with those being his last words. He descends and falls into a crowd of other human corpses below him, with Goku hyperventilating as his arm has been kept out. "I'm sorry, Goku. It had to be done. It's hard to be the hero. You're doing amazing, just to let you know," the demon says, placing his hand on his shoulder. The darkness around his eyes has become even more pronounced. A pool of red energy envelops Goku, and his skin gets even paler and smoother. Goku doesn't even have words for what has happened. Everything is just too overwhelming. Why did Krillin have to fight him? Was he not a good person in nature? Why was he going against what is right? "If he couldn't accept what was right, then he is the enemy," Goku says coldly. His irises glow their ordinary scarlet red, but this time it's brighter than before. His skin is covered in the droplets of Krillin's blood that flew out onto him. It gives him this dark, dangerous look. "This can't be the right way," Goku exclaims, as tears start to flow down his cheeks. "No, it is, Goku. You might have sacrificed a few, but that was necessary for the cause. Those criminals, those evil people, you saved them from themselves, and you saved the others from their presence. Everyone has been saved," he states. Goku looks down at the humans before blasting off as fast as he can and ends up hiding his signature as well. The only thing Goku can think of is going rogue. He doesn't want to see anyone he knows after what he did. He just feels so scared about seeing how they'd react to him killing his best friend. The others just think that he's training somewhere, but these days turn into weeks. These weeks turn into months. Something has happened to both Krillin and Goku. Everyone starts looking for them around the world because their disappearance is so odd. Their ki can't be sensed anywhere either. Goku is currently dragging along a killed deer, trying to keep his ki low while providing himself with enough power in his body to move quickly and to fight these animals that he kills to eat them. He's been living in solitude for a while, and with the demon being the only person talking in his ear, it hasn't improved his mentality in the slightest. Chucking it into the small cave area that he has been staying in, he hears someone land behind him. "Goku, where have you been all this time?" Tien asks. As he does so, Goku turns and reveals his warm, pale face. Not only that, but there's this darkness surrounding his eyes. Not only that, but there are scarlet red irises around his pupils. Even when they're not glowing, his eyes are now a permanent red colour. "Are you okay, Goku?" Tien asks, a little frightened by his appearance. "I'm fine," Goku says dejectedly. His voice is slightly deeper than it used to be, and it has this weird demonic, inhuman undertone to it. It makes him sound totally different to how he used to. "Why did you have to find me?" Goku asks, breaking the silence. What do you mean?" he asks. Unbeknownst to him, Krillin has arrived from behind him. His body is now greyed and rotten. Turning, he can see Krillin with black sclera and glowing red irises. No, this can't be real. Tien is just so shocked that he doesn't move at all. He continues staying stood there, just baffled by what he's looking at right now. This is what he's been doing. He's gone completely. "You shouldn't have found me," Goku says, before a destructive disc is sent hurtling toward Tien. Slicing him straight in half, Goku kicks it as hard as he can and shatters it before it can reach and cut him. "You're done now, Krillin," he says, before he vanishes. Each kill makes Goku feel less and less. It makes this path feel more right to him. This is the way to peace. He makes sure to leave this area as quickly as he can, finding a new area to hide so that he isn't found again. They end up searching and find that Tien is gone too. They didn't find his bisected body since Goku has now used him as a pawn. His corpse is gone as he is now under his control. His army of soldiers is growing and it's making it so that he's doing less things himself. It makes it easier for him to hide but furthers this sense of seclusion that he puts himself under. Keeping himself hidden for so long isn't doing anything positive to his mental state now that he's away from absolutely everyone. After a short while, after seeing Tien and Krillin gone, the others decide to hold back on things for now. Instead of searching for him, they look to the Dragon Balls to try and find answers. It's their only way to really get to the bottom of this. Gathering the Dragon Balls, the sky goes dark and Shenron appears from the ground. Standing before him is Bulma, Gohan, Goten, Chi-Chi and Yamcha with Puwa on his shoulder. After this time, the world just feels gloomy to them. Yamcha's two close friends are now gone, seemingly out of thin air. Where is Goku? Yamcha asks. Shenron goes silent for a short time and doesn't seem to give a response. I'm afraid that is out of my power, Shenron replies. Out of his power? What does that even mean? How can Shenron just revealing information about someone be out of his power? Out of your power, what do you mean? Yamcha asks further. It's beyond my abilities to reveal any information about Goku as long as any information pertaining to the reason why I cannot reveal any information about him, Shenron elaborates. This is really weird. Much weirder than they anticipated. Gohan and Goten's father has gone rogue and now can't be found no matter how hard they try. This means that he's really gone. Not dead, just gone. They can't even figure out where Tien and Krillin went. They found that nobody dies when they stop searching for Goku, so they have to just throw him in the past and forget about him. At least until they find a better strategy to find him. Gohan continues his normal life along with Goten. Somebody though wakes up from slumber. Beerus. He has dreamed of the Super Saiyan God and wants to see him for himself. Arriving on Earth, he doesn't meet any special Saiyan and only the two being Gohan and Goten. Both aren't very impressive warriors, so he is bummed out, but as he keeps going on about trying to fight a strong warrior, the others seem like they're hiding something. What, is there a fighter you're trying to hide from me? Beerus asks, confused by their odd demeanours. Well, our father, his name is Goku. He's way stronger than any of us, but we just don't know where he is. Whis then looks into his staff's orb and can see Goku sitting on a rock, hiding within a forest on this planet. I've located him, Whis states, making the two brothers look in immediately. I think that he was hiding here. Do you two have any idea why? Whis asks. Not at all. It was out of nowhere, he just left. Some of our friends disappeared as well, but we couldn't find them. Whis then goes on to find some information about these friends of theirs, but it's safe to say that they've been killed. He has no way of locating them, and unless they manage to escape the whole universe, they are properly gone. Whis and Beerus, along with Gohan and Goten, fly in the sky to arrive in front of a Goku who is currently covered in some form of wolf hide. He's already stood as he sensed their key signatures well before they came here. Well, those of Gohan and Goten at least, since Whis and Beerus have God Ki and he can't sense that yet. Father, Goten asks, landing on his feet. No, not these two. Anyone but these two. He makes sure not to even look at him as he feels the emotions inside him bubble up. He thought that he'd forgotten about that life, but all of those feelings of weakness have resurfaced just upon seeing them. He won't be able to achieve his goal with these emotions that continue to tie him down. He has to be stronger. Beerus just wants to get a fight in, but as Whis looks at his face, he can tell that something bigger is happening here. That pale skin, those red eyes, this is the effect of Demon Ki. The power of corrupted Kai, corrupted people. Who are you two? Goku asks, clenching his fists. He's ready to fight right now, but the other two aren't at all intimidated by him. Even when he talks with this bold tone, there's no effect on them. Gohan and Goten, however, feel this pressure and fear growing inside them as soon as he starts talking in this way. They start to step away slowly, surprising Beerus who is stood beside them. It looks like my convictions were correct, Whis says, swiveling around his staff. Goku is a demon. I can sense the ki from him. It's clear from his pale skin and darkened eyelids. This is the effect of demonic powers on the same body, Whis furthers. Really? Who would have thought that would be the reason for why you ran out of nowhere? Oh well, I'll get a good fight out of you and just get rid of you after. Are you the Super Saiyan God that they speak of? Beerus asks him. As he does, time freezes. Even for the gods that are stood there. Let's show him what he wants. I think it's time I take your powers to the next step, Daiko says, as he lifts his hand and places it on Goku's back. Daiko will just be the name of this demon Saiyan in the What If. A red-orange ki flows from his hand into Goku's, powering his body like it never has been before. I spent centuries learning about the Super Saiyan God ritual and learned how to replicate it using just my own powers. My way is a little more inefficient, but it gets the job done anyway, he comments, before removing his hand. Goku roars, revealing this power that he's never used before. His sclera turns to a dark black and his fiery aura is slightly different than the Super Saiyan God form we saw in the canon timeline. It resembles blood more. This only intensifies the fear in Gohan and Goten, who start to stand behind Whis and Beerus. What sort of power is that? Does he induce fear in anyone he looks at? I've never seen anything like that before, Beerus states. Goku shouts and zooms straight at the two fighters, taking on Beerus first. The God of Destruction lifts his forearm and takes his knee onto his forearms, letting himself slide past the two Saiyans that were stood behind him. Goku then unleashes a wave of attacks onto him, not even letting him move. Beerus can take the powerful assault but is surprised by how powerful the Saiyan is. Grabbing his head, he slams him into the ground and breaks the ground. As he holds him down though, he turns to see a group of grey corpses standing just ahead of him. Buu, Cell, Android 17, Android 18, Tien, Krillin and Vegeta. What is this? Before he can have another thought, Tien shoots his tri-beam straight at him. Since his body doesn't run on life force anymore as he has none, he can pretty much spam his tri-beam and receive no effect on his body. Beerus holds his hand to block the main brunt of the blasts and just isn't affected by them at all. Krillin swings in a destructive disc toward him and it slashes straight past his shoulder as he steps past it. It actually leaves a light graze in his shoulder and draws blood. How did these zombies cut his skin? Now this infuriates him. He runs forward, but to the three Saiyans watching, he kind of just teleports forward. Grabbing him by the neck to kick him straight in the head, he poofs away into black smoke. He then swings an arm through the android and Cell, reducing those that he needs to fight to just Buu and Vegeta. Before he continues to attack, he sees Vegeta standing there with his degraded body. What has happened here? I remember you. Your father used to rule the Saiyans. King Vegeta III, Beerus comments, as he is met by just a deathly screech. The boy that he had seen before is gone. All that remains is his deathly corpse. It doesn't really affect him as he never really talked to Vegeta, but it makes him more concerned with the powers that this fighter that he's facing has. Goku fires forward at top speed, but Beerus has had enough. Tapping his neck, he gets sent sliding across the dirt, then the other corpses poof away from this hit. Take him in. We need to investigate this, Beerus states. Whis is surprised that Beerus is making such a bigger involvement in this, but he can tell this is more serious than he thought. In the eons that they've lived, they haven't seen powers of this nature, and it's clear that they're quite powerful in nature as well. Goku awakes and finds himself in the realm surrounded by God Ki, Whis staff. The only person to keep him company here is Daiko, yet again. Daiko, how did you get in here? Goku asks, looking around at the mystical rainbow-coloured energy that surrounds him. It has this intense pressure that feels nothing like the Super Saiyan form that he had. I can be anywhere, Goku, my powers go way beyond this realm, Daiko explains. Now that Goku thinks about it, he has no clue who Daiko is still. It's been years and he can say that he is his closest companion, however the only real thing he knows about him is his name. What are those powers? Goku then asks. Daiko doesn't reply initially, but then gives out a sigh. I think that I trust you enough to tell you now, so I will, I must say. I'm sure you can tell from my tail and appearance, Daiko states. I know I tell you that this is only how I present myself to you, and sometimes I am just an image, but this is my real body. When I create an image, I'm creating an image of how I truly look. It's just that my body isn't physically here. It's in another place like this, Daiko reveals. What, like in a separate realm? Yes, exactly. It means I can't really be killed in the same way that everyone else can. You can destroy this physical projection of my body, but since no one knows where I really am, there's just no threat to me. Back to me. I was just a normal Saiyan, like your ancestors. Getting by as the standard warrior race we were, but I wanted more. I knew there was more out there and I was willing to do anything to get there. So I spent time thinking about how to prolong my life and how to get what I wanted, and I ended up doing so, being smart and just not stopping for anything, Daiko explains. What did you learn? Well, I learned how to do this, create images of myself, create my own realm to house my body and the powers that you currently have. It all compounded on itself, and since I had all the time in the world, I just learned and learned. Now, the reason I revealed this to you is that I can get you out of here. You're perfectly compatible with the powers I've given you, so I think that I can give you enough strength to free yourself from here, he states. At this same moment in time, Beerus and Whis are on their planet, with Beerus sat at a table eating and with Whis stood near him. It looks like any ordinary day, but their conversation is much different to normal. What are we doing about Goku? Beerus asks. I'm not sure, Beerus. It's totally your call. My neutrality still stands, but I can say that his power is most certainly interesting, Whis replies. Beerus falls silent upon hearing this. He didn't really hear anything about what we said, as he's still deep in thought. Should he learn more about what's happening? Should he just get rid of him? What am I doing? Let's just get rid of him. I don't need to ask any questions. There's no way these mortals have formed a power above that of us. If it's beyond my power, then you can just step in. Reveal him so I can eliminate him, Beerus decides, almost out of nowhere. Of course, my lord, Whis states, looking to his staff to try and remove him. However, much to his surprise, there's nothing to remove. Well, where is he? Beerus asks. Whis' demeanour has totally changed. He doesn't seem as neutral and unconcerned as he usually is. His eyes have widened and there is a visible sense of surprise on his face. He's gone, Whis says, with a tone of concern in his voice. Beerus shoots up to his feet looking straight at the angel. He's gone? What do you mean he's gone? The realm is empty of any life form. He has managed to escape the realm, Whis replies. Beerus turns and places his hands on his head. I can't believe I tried to keep that guy alive. How can someone even escape the realm? Isn't it under your control? Yes, but there's only one method, Whis reveals. This surprises Beerus. He always assumed a lot of Whis abilities to be infallible, but it seems like the powers of the angels aren't as foolproof as he thought them to be. I can't house a sufficiently powerful creator, for example. If you can create a separate universe or pocket dimension and throw yourself into such dimension, you can then move from that dimension back into this main universe. It's a form of loophole that those individuals can bypass. I just wasn't expecting Goku to meet that criterion. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. This time, Frieza is eager to get his get back against Goku. He decides to train again way earlier and ends up training for a whole 8 months. This gives him the new golden form, and he also basically masters it since he trains for twice as long as he did in the canon timeline. And with this state, he believes that he has the power to take out Goku. Upon arriving, it's nothing like he expected to see. He arrives with his army, and Goten is the front runner in defeating the fighters there. Alongside him is another strong character that is quite surprising to see, and this is Yamcha. He spent a lot more time training. After seeing Goku become this evil person, it feels annoying that he has no impact over what happens. It feels like if Goku shows up and wants someone dead, they just die. There's nothing that he can do about it. And this led to his closest friends Tien and Krillin dying. This is motivated to really get his training going again, and he's managed to take out quite a few soldiers in this battle. As he arrives against Tagoma and Shisami, this allows Goten to get face to face with the Emperor. I didn't think that you would get all the way here, child. Where is your father? Frieza asks, getting right to the point. As he says this, Goten's face just sinks in and Frieza looks a little confused. Where is he? Frieza asks. He didn't come all the way here to not even hear where he is. He doesn't even care about any of these people here. He just wants to find and kill Goku. He's not here anymore. Some guys took him away, Goten reveals, making Frieza perplexed. Took him away? What is he even on about? Why would they take him away? Frieza asks. He's turned evil, completely, Yamcha states, butting into the conversation. Frieza hears this and just widens his eyes before smiling. Now this is interesting. And Goku is stood within the realm created by Daiko. They're both stood ahead of each other, and here Goku is being given the additional abilities that he has been promised. The main ability that you've gained is Life Force Absorption. Instead of relying on me to draw that power from things around you, you can do that yourself. Eliminate those and take that energy from their soul to make yourself stronger, he explains. Goku clenches his fists, feeling this odd new power flowing through him. It makes him feel not just stronger but different. It changes him every time. The duo exit the realm and arrive in the real world, and Goku has really changed. He's left flying in the abyss of space and feels no pressure on his body whatsoever. He doesn't even feel the need to breathe, and it's like he was on Earth. Blasting down there at top speed, breaking through a whole cloud, he scans the surroundings. He finds exactly what he was looking for and arrives in front of the three, Yamcha, Goten and Frieza. This time there is someone beside him that everyone can see, Daiko. Wait, they can see you? Goku asks, turning to him. His voice is deeper and darker than it once was, and his appearance is almost unrecognizable. He's several inches taller and more muscular than he'd ever been before, and that's saying something. The skin around his eyes not only look a little dimmer but are now a dark grey, a much different tone to the pale skin surrounding it. I can see that the mission is almost done, so I thought, why don't I just join in? I'll play my part, but I won't stay here. I'm sure you can handle whatever happens down here, he comments, before blasting up into the air. Goku turns to the trio and clenches his fists tightly. I really didn't think that you guys would be the evil I'd face. Look at the man you've joined forces with, Goku comments, pointing toward Frieza. Evil? You're calling us evil, Yamcha blurts out, stepping forward. He's had enough of this. How can Goku even say such a thing? Does he know what he's done? Does he know what he's caused? The torment he's forced him to endure, and he's done so for countless thousands across the planet. It was that man, the one that just flew off. He's possessed him or changed him in some way. No, we can't see Goku as someone that has changed. When he does, he feels like there'd be a way for them to get back the loving, cheerful Goku that they lost. The more he looks into the eyes of Goku that stands before him, he can see that he is dead. This is the only version of Goku that remains. I don't want to have to hurt any of you. No matter what I have seen, I can see that there is still God in your hearts. Stand down for what is right. The irony is infuriating to Yamcha. He can't stand by and watch anymore. Solar Flare, he roars vehemently, stunning Goku. He grunts and holds his eyes in pain, then Yamcha goes in for a sudden advance. Shouting, he's letting out every bit of struggle and anger that has grown inside him into this one strike. The air roars around him during this leap and his knee crashes right into Goku's chest. Wolfang Fist, Yamcha shouts, pulling back both hands and shaping them like claws. His hands move like the wind, creating shock waves with each slamming into Goku's body. He looks like a different person entirely. The way he can just fire off attack after attack without any signs of slowing down. It's clear that he's put a lot of time into training and making himself stronger. After what seems like 20 seconds of continuous attacking, he can see that it's getting nowhere. Goku isn't even going anywhere. From beside him, a destructive disc goes zooming down and slices through his body, cutting off his hands and torso. Goku flinches slightly upon seeing this, but has a slight smirk on his face upon realizing that he can handle it now. It doesn't make him as sad and dejected as it used to. He knows that it's the right thing. All of these people are only standing in the way of peace. Yamcha's body parts flop onto the ground and his eyes drift off into the gloomy grey sky above them. A strike of lightning falls a few meters behind Goku, creating this dark silhouette of him. The induced fear emanating from his body is only intensified. As for Frieza and Goten, they thought that they'd conquered that feeling, but as it comes back, they can tell that they still fear him, even after so much training and dedication. This makes those feelings of weakness and inferiority well up inside Frieza again, but it doesn't make him want to stand back and run. No, it makes him want to fight and beat Goku. It seems like Goten won't even stop him from doing so this is the best time to get it done. A zombified Krillin appears from in front of Goku, screeching at the two remaining fighters. Frieza just flies straight out toward these fighters, aiming straight for the zombie ahead. Krillin aims a destructive disc at him, but Frieza flips right over it. He then shoots his foot down onto Krillin's bald head. Aiming for a vital point of this zombie, he managed to take it out in one single shot. He slides forward several meters after this single hit and creates a massive trail of dust behind him as he does this. Coming to a stop, he looks back to Goku and aims for him, only to see Tien appear. Tri-beam, the dead zombie roars with a dark voice. The golden blast fires off toward Frieza and knocks him off his feet. It's a surprisingly powerful blast, but he doesn't just run back into the fight. This is the weakest version of him after all. There's much more power in store for him to utilize. Roaring at the top of his lungs, his muscles bulge up and he ascends into his final form. Not only that, but he resorts to his buff 100% form. After training for so long, this isn't such a big stamina drain. It feels just as natural as the 50% form did as he was training. Blasting off toward Tien, he slips past an incoming tri-beam, grabbing him by the head to slam him into the rocky floor below. The ground quakes from this slap, and this even gains Goku's attention. Oh wow, he was not expecting this. He then reveals the powerful Majin Buu to complete the job, but not only that, he tries something else that he's been working on. Just by his side, Cell appears beside him and Buu shoots a beam to the adjacent zombie to turn him to chocolate. Absorbing him, a powerful fusion is formed. Majin Buu, Cell absorbed. This form of Buu is elegant and slim, just like the version of Buu-Han we had seen in the canon timeline. However, there are a few differences. There are a few green scales over his body, and he doesn't have Goku's gi, of course. His head also has the two insect-like appendages similar to Cell's. Go and defeat Frieza for me, don't fail, Goku orders. Buu just grunts upon hearing this, looking at him for a second before turning. Why do I have this urge to do whatever you say? Guess I don't have a choice in the matter, Buu states, before shooting forward at Frieza. He smashes his fist right into his face and draws blood on the first hit. This sort of power was not something Frieza was expecting. He follows with a sequence of explosive punches to his stomach, followed with a whipping kick aimed at the side of his head to launch him off course and toward Goten. His nose has been snapped in two and is profusely bleeding. Not only that, but he feels physically dazed. That hit did a number on him, and Buu is more than ready for more. Instead of getting back up to look ready to fight again, he just lets everything out as he remains on the ground. Clenching the dirt beneath, he shouts at the top of his lungs and the golden aura envelops him. His skin turns to that same hue and he takes a powerful step onto one foot before powering back up to both feet, now in his golden form. He turns back to Buu, who has a little more excitement on his face upon seeing this. Okay, let's see what we have here, he states, stretching his fingers before he readies himself for battle. Across the universe, another showdown is about to commence. That is between Daiko and the two gods of Universe 7, Whis and Beerus. Daiko, the Demon King, we state, swiveling his staff to aim it at him. Oh wow, why did you hear about that? Daiko asks, with a white cloak flowing down his back. After Dabra was defeated, you were able to take over the Demon Realm and capitalized on the power vacuum that appeared. You are now the king of the Demon Realm, Whis states. Before taking on this fight, Whis made sure to get as much information on the Demon Realm as possible. Even with the gods of Universe 7, they didn't know very much. However, upon going to people like the Old Kai and other Supreme Kais, he was able to get sufficient information. A lot of evil people get thrown into the Demon Realm, but they don't really know what happens in there. Well, you have heard a lot, however you don't know everything. In fact, you don't know enough. Instead of him powering up to look to fight, something else happens. A legion of warriors appears from the shadows that look grey and resemble beetles, the Tamagami. They all rushed forward in unison, but Beerus can see they're all far too slow. He strikes each one of these beetle warriors with one strike, taking out 6 of them in one fell swoop. However, the final burly one swings down what looks like a hammer onto him. The ground beneath cracks apart completely and it looks like Beerus has been hit well. Whis doesn't have a shred of concern on his face though, as Beerus lifts up the hammer with a single hand. I was hoping you'd be a little stronger. Looks like you just disappointed me in the end, Beerus says, swinging the hammer to the side to then smash his elbow into the larger Tamagami's face. The bodies of the Tamagami flop onto the others and all 7 have been defeated just like that. Oh wow, I wasn't expecting you to be that strong, Daiko says. What am I saying? I was, Daiko states, as Beerus makes his way out the hole he was thrown into. Beerus is a little angry after hearing this and doesn't want to exchange any words. He flies straight to Daiko and covers the distance between them in a flash. Daiko doesn't move from his advance, and this is something he's only seen Whis do. Whenever he rushes towards someone, they fearfully step back and try and do something. Just how strong is this guy to not feel the need to move? Elegantly stepping beside him, he keeps his arms behind his back and continuously flows past Beerus' attacks. No matter what he does, it just seems like he can't hit him. Beerus rolls and throws everything into a final punch and stops holding back. He's been gearing himself up from throwing punch after punch and is now giving it his all. Even so, it lands on his chest and moves him back an inch or so. Taking that strike, Daiko just rubs his chest before chuckling. "Who are you?" Beerus asks, frozen. He can name every single person that reacts like that to his strongest attacks. The Angels, Zeno, his guards. Is this guy really someone else to add to that list? His anger at not hurting this man shielded his mind from the reality of the situation. He's going to die if he continues fighting. He said that Whis would step in if he couldn't handle it, but he didn't realise that he'd end up actually doing this. "Looks like I'll need some help, Whis," Beerus forces out, still trying to get his breath back. "Of course, my lord," Whis replies, aiming his staff at Daiko before eagerly leaping in to begin the fight. Swiveling his staff as he advances, a third eye appears on Daiko's forehead. It begins to glow brightly and a massive beam of energy fires out from it to hit Whis square in his chest. He isn't even fast enough to pull up his staff in time and is launched across the battlefield. The blast doesn't totally incapacitate him and he is able to roll before returning to his feet. However, the blast has scorched through his clothing and it did cause some minor damage. Looking straight at Beerus, it's like his body freezes up. Beerus even struggles to breathe as his chest seizes up too. What's happening? What has this demon done to me? This is the powerful third eye. Goku met a descendant of someone that was born with this ability, but it turns out that there are other ways to attain it. The Oculus Tertius. Seconds later, Beerus feels like he's free, but then he sees several grey warriors stood around him, the Gigaths of the demon realm. Now these aren't ordinary Gigaths, but something entirely different. They are massive, muscular and bulky, but they also have the same rotten, decayed frames that a zombie would. Their sclera are a midnight black with their eyes glowing a blood red colour. These are those that he has slain and used his necromancy powers to control. Now he has his own army of gigantic, ruthless warriors with the power to slay gods. Beerus rushes toward one, angered by the fight that he's been having. I mean, any god of destruction would likely be humiliated being defeated like this. They're supposed to be the epitome of power in their own universe. After this sequence of events, he can't claim to be the strongest with any sense of conviction anymore. Leaping up, he shoots both legs into one of the bellies of these large fighters, but it does very little. Hit it with a puny attack like that and you'll only tickle it. Come on, God of Destruction. Is that the best you have in your arsenal? Daiko asks. This only makes Beerus chuckle. Best in his arsenal? He must be joking. Lifting both of his arms, an ominous cold dark energy condenses over his arms. His eyes begin to glow purple and he lifts off his feet regally with his arms raised by his side. Hakai energy, the immense power of destruction. He thrusts forward both hands toward the Gigath aimed ahead of him and the giant is hit with a pure Hakai ball. Even with Daiko's powers, they can't cancel out the destructive nature of Hakai energy. The being has cracked scurry over its frame and it poofs out into a black cloud of smoke. A Gigath swings down what looks like a club from behind Beerus, aiming straight for the head. However, the god can sense this incoming attack and flips right over it. Attacks continue to come his way, but he carries on with a sense of focus and resolution that he shows very rarely. Even if he is in the face of a terribly powerful warrior, will he roll over and submit? No. Even if it's his last day alive, he'll give this ultimate battle everything that he has. Slamming a dark purple ki blast into a Gigath's chest, it also poofs away, then he continues singling out these targets and taking them out in this manner. Daiko is getting a little infuriated by this. He can sense that whenever they're hit with that blast, he can't summon them again. His Hakai blast really removes them from existence. Therefore, he steps in. Daiko aims his 3 eyes at the god that is now stood amongst a cloud of black smoke. Whis looks to enter the fight himself since Beerus did give him the green light to do so, but notices something odd. Beerus continuously clenches his fists and finds that the power that he was wishing to utilize is gone. Hakai, he can't summon destruction energy any longer. It brings him back to his early days of God of Destruction training many eons ago where he literally couldn't use the power properly. How can this be happening after so much time and experience? Don't want you doing that anymore. Now back to you, Whis, Daiko says, before blasting forward at full throttle. He aims an energy beam at Whis yet again and the fight is on. Daiko begins showing off the powers that he's kept within him for a long time. He is a very powerful warrior and Whis can see that immediately. It takes him a lot of effort to keep him at bay, but as the battle continues, Whis gets calmer and calmer. He can soon tell that he can keep this man contained. Daiko tries to hit him with one of the energy beams from the Oculus Tertius, but Whis swivels straight past it and swings his staff straight at his face, landing it cleanly. Before Daiko can attack again, Whis steps around him to swing in a kick straight onto his back. This sends the Saiyan stumbling forward and he looks forward with a strong intent to attack. Getting hit with such clean attacks has annoyed him and so he wants to get some get back. However, as he advances, Whis shoots his staff forward. He puts all his effort into the strike and the staff's head lands straight onto Daiko's chest. In the very next moment, there's a very audible crack and the Saiyan is lifted straight off his feet and truly launched back. Crashing into the ground, Whis rushes forward to not even give him the time to get up. Before he can, all he sees is the head of his staff aimed right in his face. I order you to stand down and to answer for your crimes committed in this universe. We must take you in so that you can be questioned further. Whis orders in the boldest voice that Beerus has ever heard him use. He usually has a calm, polite tone, but now that is completely gone. It seems that in the heat of this battle, a darker side to Whis has been brought out. No need, Daiko says, before turning to white light and vanishing. What in the world? Both Beerus and Whis continue looking around until they see a similar white light condensing in between them. At first it resembles a bright miniature star that then reshapes and forms the same Daiko from before. You really thought you had me, didn't you? Daiko says with his arms crossed. This has been amusing, it really has, but I've been waiting for way too long for this moment. I've considered every single possibility. Whis, Beerus, what you've done here has simply wasted your time, Daiko states. What do you even want, Beerus asks. It seems like this man has a great goal in mind, but what is he going to achieve by fighting them both? Beerus is sure that he could have killed him if he wanted to. He fought Whis and really challenged him, forcing him to use his full strength. I was born so many millennia ago. I made myself immortal like you. You could call me a god, but I'd say I'm something different, something better. Anyway, I digress. I went to the demon realm and conquered it. I want power, Beerus. With you people in the way of that, I can't build the empire I wish to build. I built an empire in the demon realm. I made the king there my puppet, Dabura, Babidi. You won't know these names, but prominent figures in the realm became my minions. It still isn't enough though. I've conquered that world. Now I shall conquer this one. The only mortal that I saw would be a threat to me is now on my side, Daiko reveals. No way. Goku, a threat to him. You guys don't know how much potential a Saiyan has. I saw a spark in him that I haven't seen in anyone in centuries. His determination and pure heart were the only thing that could stand in my way, so I put him on my path. Why fight him when I can make him fight for me? You're sick. What do you even want this power for? Will you really feel happy after getting what you want? Beerus bursts out, getting angrier and angrier. Yes, of course I will. Why do you think I'm doing what I'm doing? I lived a life of getting by, just trying to provide for my family. It made me depressed. This power, this destruction, this is my happiness. This is my dream, Daiko explains. Anyway, I also wanted to say that this fight for both of you has been useless. This isn't my true body, but just a projection of it. There's nothing that you can do to kill me by hitting this body, he reveals. Beerus is left stunned. He really had been giving his all to fight a mirror image of someone. Why are you still here fighting us then? You have the power to kill me, yet here I am. You're bluffing, Beerus claims. Bluffing, Daiko blurts out before bursting into an intense laughter. I'm just here because I like fighting. I'm a Saiyan still. The pieces are in the perfect place, Beerus. The perfect place. I've had my fun here. I think it's time for me to move on to bigger and better things, Daiko says before staring straight into Beerus' eyes. His body seizes up, then he rushes forward to drive his hand straight through his chest. Beerus, the god of destruction, is no more. Beerus is done, just like that, and he turns toward Whis. You must be wondering how I was able to kill him. Never's Dragon Balls are a lot more useful than I thought they'd be. Long story short, it's dark magic. Daiko rambles on before taking a single step forward to slap Whis' staff from his grasp. Finally, he throws a powerful sequence of taps onto his chest that each break burns on impact. Before he is done, he leaps back and unleashes a full power energy wave from the third eye to Whis. Without his staff and any reasonable defense with crippled arms and a crippled body, this is pretty much all that he can do. He is hit with the blast head on and engulfed by it. Whis is left on the ground and for seconds there is no movement from him whatsoever. However, after about half a minute or so, he coughs out blood, making Daiko grunt in anger. Wow, looks like you truly are immortal, Daiko says, before placing key rings on his arms, legs and neck. Think of when Majin Vegeta locked Goku up with those golden keyrings in the cannon. I'll place an image on the screen to show what I mean. In the very next moment he is gone and the gods of Universe 7 are no more. Shin soon meets a similar fate to Beerus, and Daiko can't help but laugh as he flies through the abyss of space. He's more elated than ever before, it's really happening. The Buu that has absorbed Imperfect Cell stares at a now golden Frieza. This new pristine state of his makes him a little more interested, and he shoots himself forward to thrust in a kick to his face. It's a light one, a very light one at that, and he's thrown this just to kind of test the Emperor. It lands cleanly on his jaw and drops him to the ground, but with all of his willpower he manages to stand back up again. He holds his jaw in pain and wiggles it around, but clenches his hands into fists and looks ready to go. Instead of waiting for another attack to come his way, he shouts and charges forward to attack him himself. Throwing numerous punches at the Great Buu's body, he just evades each attack. He does so with such flawlessness as well. All it takes for the warrior are a handful of short, elegant steps to the side and things for his punches to completely miss the mark. It's truly infuriating when he sees it happening. In the end, Frieza leaps back and unleashes a wave of death beams toward him, and this time they land just as he had wished. They pierce the grey skin and go straight through the body, but there's no blood that's removed. Instead, the wound seals up in the very next moment, and it was like he was never even hit at all. Frieza looks down to his extended finger, then back to the fighter that he's been facing. Who has he really been challenging all this time? It just doesn't really make sense to him. His death beams, if they don't do damage, usually don't pierce the skin. They cut straight through this fighter's body, but left no damage. You're going to need to try something else to try and beat me, Frieza, Buu reveals. Hearing this, the Emperor does. Lifting both hands above his head, two buzzing spinning energy discs appear that resemble Krillin's Destructo discs. Chucking them forward, they both slice through Buu and leave him in three separate pieces. Surely this is what he needs to end things here. I mean, the guy's in literal pieces now. No, Buu returns to his usual state only a few seconds later. I was really hoping that form of yours would be interesting. Goku, why do you even have me fighting these guys? There's no need, Buu salts. I don't want them upsetting Daiko's plan. They can get in the way, Goku states, taking a pause before getting his last words out. Ah, you're talking about your son, aren't you? Is he still making you weak? Buu asks, taunting him. Just get rid of them already, Goku shouts, unable to look up again. He can't see that kid's face, his own face pretty much. No, he'll just continue to look down and hopefully Buu does what he's been told. Oh well, it was fun while it lasted. What am I saying? No it wasn't, Buu says, before shooting an energy blast straight through Goten. His eyes open wide and he stumbles. All he can see is a single tear drop from Goku's drop down face. Father, he asks, before falling over for the final time. Someone in the sky that sees this are Piccolo and Gohan. No, how has this happened? Goku let this happen. That power, that rage that has been suppressed within Gohan for years is beginning to flare up. The prodigy, the true warrior spirit of Gohan has been revitalized in this moment. Screaming with grief and rage, his hair switches to white and his eyes turn a cold red. How could Goku do this? How could he kill his own son, Gohan's brother? That love for him is dead now. All he knows is that he must avenge his brother no matter what. His muscles bulge up and return to their previous vigor, and Beast Gohan is here. Goku and Frieza both see this from the skies, and he roars before diving down there as fast as he can. He lets out a trail of powerful silver energy and his eyes are dead set on Goku. He eventually lands before blasting off and aiming straight for him. He lands a punch onto his chest, and this punch isn't like any ordinary punch. It knocks the wind straight out of Goku and breaks his sternum. Before he can get launched off, he grabs onto one of his extended arms and pulls back vigorously to slam him into the ground. Goku's face exudes shock as he looks upon his son. Was he really hiding this flame of power inside of him this whole time? How is this possible? If not for the position that he's in right now, he'd be proud of his son. However, that power that he has right now is going to be an issue. Buu comes hurtling in from behind him and throws forward his arm while extending it like how Namekians can elongate their arms. However, Gohan steps to the side, so all that the fist hits is an after image of him. Turning, he stares down Buu with his cold red eyes that even resemble his father's ironically. That darkness, that rage, Buu can see all of it, like father, like son. Leaping straight at him, he severs Buu's head off completely before pushing Buu's body back with a strong firm slam. This releases quite the shockwave, but Buu is far too durable for attacks like that. It isn't long at all before he is totally mended back up and returns to his usual state. Gohan, upon seeing this, remembers what happened with Buu when he had first met him. Shin explicitly told him to aim with everything that he had and for him to be cautious of his durability. He's seen that firsthand right now and needs to put his all into this. Placing his hands into his head with his palms facing outwards, he releases a full power Masenko at the being and hits him head on. The blast engulfs him and turns his softish body into hardened, scorched pieces of matter. They soon poof away and just turn to black smoke, leaving nothing behind. Gohan doesn't even take a glance at Golden Frieza that is stood before him and turns to Goku with his same blood red eyes. He is now raised as Goku has healed his own injuries. Gohan clenches his fists and can feel tears welling up. Why did you do that to Goten? He's your son, have you forgotten? I'm your son, Gohan shouts as his hair begins to shorten. As much as he wants to rush in there and hurt his father, he can't. He just doesn't have it in him to do it. Goku takes a few seconds to reply. It's clear that this isn't easy for him still. I want to achieve peace and prosperity for our universe. All of you are ignorant to that dream and can't be in that with me. I wish you could, but I know all of your natures. To achieve true God, I need to get rid. Do you really believe that? Who's told you that this is peace? Where is the peace, Goku? Your son is dead at your own hands. It seems like you even want me dead as well. What about Chi-Chi? What sort of peace is she going to live in with her kids gone? Maybe you want her dead as well. Yamcha, Tien, Krillin, pure-hearted people. I mean, Goten can ride the Nimbus. How can he be against peace? Gohan elaborates. This thought is something Goku hasn't had for a while, and it's something that he can't easily contest. The Nimbus. His son Goten could fly the flying Nimbus. But no, he could fly the Nimbus and he definitely still could. Maybe the Nimbus is just wrong then, its criteria is just wrong. Goku's thoughts continue to go haywire as he considers this thought more deeply, and Gohan cuts off the silence. I know for a fact that you can't ride that Nimbus anymore, father. Look at what you've become. You've been manipulated. You've really changed, Gohan reveals. Goku hates this thought continuing to go through his mind. He doesn't want to think about it anymore. Roaring vehemently, he begins using Super Saiyan God and creates a crater from his power alone. Now this is the power that Goku has been keeping stored inside. As Goku does this, Gohan feels the need to power up himself as he enters his beast mode again. Before Goku can take another step forward though, a beam of light goes straight through Gohan's neck and decapitates him. His head flops to the side and his body also falls in this lifeless manner. You were taking too long, Goku. How come Frieza is still here as well? Daiko asks as he appears, shooting 5 death beams straight through Frieza's whole body. The Emperor falls to the ground and every threat to Goku here is now gone. Come on, we have some work to do, Daiko states, tapping him on the shoulder. Wait, I'll follow you in a second. There are some people that have to go first, Goku explains. Now that's the spirit. I'll come back when you're ready, Daiko explains, before vanishing. Goku turns then rushes away to call upon his good old Nimbus. He stands atop a mountain with the dark grey clouds rumbling with thunder above him. The yellow cloud floats right there in front of him, but he just continues to stand there frozen. As much as he wants to test out Gohan's claim, he just can't bring himself to do it. Just do it, Goku shouts. He leaps off the hill to see his feet phase right through the golden cloud. His body follows suit and all he can see is the yellow cloud receding further and further from him. Soon he hits the nearby mountainside and just lets himself roll down the whole thing. His eyes just roll with him as he's so stuck in his own thoughts. Slowly he comes to a stop with his body covered in dirt and rubble as he looks to the sky. His pure heart is gone. What? How is this real? Upon looking back at everything, it seems clear as day. He begins shouting, holding his head in pain as he starts to think back to what has happened before him. The death of his own children, his closest friends. What has he overseen? It's too late now. It's far too late. I really thought that you changed. I guess you can't change your pure heart forever, Daiko says from behind him. As Goku begins to turn, a laser beam flies straight through his chest. Coughing blood, he stumbles forward until laser blasts relentlessly blast through his whole body. After this ruthless assault, he falls to the ground to see a dark purple blast aimed at his face. Goodbye, Goku, Daiko says, grabbing him. Their bodies both light up from this, and the entire surrounding area turns to white light. Those on Earth can feel this rumbling beneath their feet, and it turns the planet to chaos. Even the sturdiest towers come tumbling down, and the remaining humans that are alive feel shocked. Master Roshi, Chaozu, Puar, there aren't many that remain, but they've come together in this perilous time. The light dies down, and only Goku's body remains, standing there. Daiko taps his new body with a smile on his face. Just as I wanted. I was thinking I could have a partner in crime, but oh well, I'm fine with this, he states, as the third eye opens on his new body. He then vanishes and appears in Zeno's palace. The guards aim their weapons forward as soon as a single particle of white light appears to announce his presence. Greetings, my gods, Daiko states, as a dark purple spear appears. Time to get rid of you, he claims. Hakai has no effect on us, the Grand Priest states. Driving this spear into the guard to Zeno's right, he grabs the spear only to feel his hands decaying away. This gains the attention of the Grand Priest almost immediately. No, this can't be real. How has he done this? Next, he stares into each of their eyes, using as much power from the Oculus Tertius to freeze up their bodies. It almost works, but this wasn't his aim. All he wanted to do was slow them down as much as possible. The Grand Priest shoots himself forward to try and attack him to protect Zeno. However, he can feel that his body isn't going fast enough. One of these spears goes right through his body too. In the demon realm, magic trumps logic. Take a fact and there's someone out there in that realm that has created a spell as a walkaround to that fact. Nothing is true, nothing is fact, Grand Priest, Daiko states as he falls to his knees. The final guard tries to rush forward toward him as well, but he shoots the spear straight through Zeno instead. This childish king of everything is gone in a flash and the guard is also defeated. After these 4 attacks, Daiko falls to a knee as he starts profusely sweating. Those attacks took a lot more out of him than he expected, but doesn't let it get to him. Standing back up, he just remains there for a second or two before a smile appears on his face. After so long, only he remains. He is now the king of everything. Master Roshi, Chi-Chi, Bulma and others are huddled around the living room of the Kame house. On a TV, the news channel switches off the current events of the worldwide earthquake and changes to the face of Goku. It looks far more lifeless and pale than what they remembered even from after he had gone off the deep end. Greetings, mortals of Universe 7. I know many of you are too ignorant to even understand what I am talking about, but let me lay a little context. For those who are aware of Goku, I am not him. I have instead utilised his body to fulfill my purpose. This universe was run by 2 gods, who answered to even higher gods as well. I have defeated every god that has been reigning over you mortals. Your religions, your beliefs are all lies, saying his final sentence far louder. God is dead, mortals. I am all that remains. I am your new god. Praise me, believe in me, because I am all to believe in. I am all that is true, he roars before cackling. To finish off this announcement, they can hear a loud battle horn across the planet that even creates harsh waves in the ocean. This occurs across the entire universe. Daiko cackles during this whole time and his eyes begin glowing a bright red. Around him appears his army of zombified soldiers. He walks past most of them before sitting at the throne behind him. Placing an elbow down on one of the arms, he just places his hand under his chin and looks out to the distance. Ah, what a job well done, Daiko. So that will conclude what if Goku became a demon. Please tell me something you liked about this what if or something that I should improve on for the next one. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.